Week 6 was a blunder fest, a series of disasters. There was some good, but mostly bad. And I know a lot of people are going to come in upset, feeling like it's over. But you you got to understand something before you start getting too down about your team. Everybody had a bad week on some level, because there weren't a lot of great fantasy football producers. There were a lot of low-scoring games. So people need to understand that before they think everything's doom and gloom walking into week number 7. We've got the week 7 buys down on the bottom of the screen. Tons of teams on a buy in week number 7. Let's break it all down. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks, ladies and gentlemen, and we're all also live whenever these games end, right? The Sunday games, the Monday night game, the Thursday night game. We're here to break it down, whether it's good news, bad news, whatever the case may be. We're always here to do it. I don't know if I think this is, let me just put this on screen here. Hold on. I got the schedule for week number 7 as well, prepared to talk about that. Let me put this back up on screen. So these are the top performers of the week. We're going to go over that. But in that, we're going to realize that a lot of players busted this week. So before we see the old Ridley, I'm writing Ridley off, he's awful. What about all of the other players that did bad this week? There were so many players that did bad. When you look at a top 5 quarterback performing list right here, the rankings coming out of week 5, and Desmond Ridder is the 5th highest scoring quarterback, you need to accept a few things about week number 6. Week number 6 was not a good week. Week number 6 was not a good week on any level. There were a few big performers. Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff had 2 touchdowns, 353. Hurts had 1 passing touchdown, 3 INTs, and 280 passing yards. Yeah, rushing touchdown. 3 INTs. He was QB number 3. We need to realize what the hell is going on, and we need to figure out how to adjust and adapt. Yes, but we need to make sure we don't overreact to week number 6, because I think we could call this Bloody Sunday. I think this is 2023's Bloody Sunday. A little early for Halloween. A little bit early. Fields got injured. Purdy was horrible. CMC got injured. Hill got injured. Tyreek Hill got injured. Came back into the game. Tons of bad performing players. Breece Hall not fed until the end of the game, and then what does he do? He delivers. It was crazy. It was a crazy week. Some of us, now we play in a lot of leagues. I'm sure a lot of you have some leagues where you did well in, but nobody probably did well across, if they play in tons of leagues, all of their leagues, because of so many players underperforming. Adam Thielen is continuing to do it. I'll take my lap on Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, we'll get to him in a second. I don't know that I'm selling high. I'm certainly selling high. That's no disrespect to what he's doing. It's just, you can't expect that. You can enjoy it if it happens all year long, but I don't know that you can count on it. So I would definitely sell high. I would say also Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins, that train is not going to crash unless Tua did. Tua's seems like he's fine. There was a lot of people that got banged up in this game. Even Tyreek Hill got banged up. CMC got banged up, tried to come back in, then left. I assume he's going to be fine, but you never know what a bleed could turn into. So we gotta kind of play that by ear. Sam Howell was the 4th highest scoring quarterback. Desmond Ridder was the 5th highest scoring quarterback. The running backs were pretty bleak as well, except for Mostert, who had a phenomenal day. And we knew this was probably coming, because Mostert had the backfield pretty much to himself in an offense where they're just going to give the running back position 3 to 4 touchdowns collectively. They're going to give the running back position 150 to 220 yards collectively. So we knew that Mostert was going to get fed like a madman. And the report earlier today suggesting that Achan's going to be out just the 4 weeks, then the bye week, and then he'll be back. So that's great news for Achan owners. Celebratory moment there. ETN was fantastic per usual. Okay, this man had 2 touchdowns on the ground, as you can see in front of you. 55 yards, 3 receptions, and like I said, 2 rushing touchdowns. He was the second highest scoring running back of the week. Kyron Williams did nothing in the first half of that Cardinal game. Nothing. I think he had like 2 carries for like 4 yards in the first half. Came out on a terror. They ran him into the ground in unbelievable fashion, in a good way. They ran him into the ground, and Kyron Williams went nuts. Went absolutely ballistic. And if you have Kyron Williams, congratulations, because he isn't slowing down. If he stays healthy. Now, he did get banged up. Ronnie came in, and you must pick up Ronnie Rivers, who is the backup running back in St. Louis, in LA, and grab him, cuff him to your Kyron, or grab him anyway, because guess what? Kyron's good. Kyron's really good. And I don't know if you guys remember last year, I think it was the beginning of last year, we were pretty high on Kyron on the show last offseason. Walking in and saying, okay, he could potentially take Akers' job and all that. And then he kind of just vanished for a while. He got injured. He vanished in the early part of the year. There was nothing spoken. No Kyron Williams spoken at all during the season, really, at all. He just didn't show up. He was injured. But so we like him. The point is we like him. He's not like an out of nowhere guy. He's been a popular guy in this channel before this year. But this is McVay's system. There's a reason Puka Nacua, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Puka Nacua, but there's a reason Puka Nacua looked like Cooper Kupp and still will do very, very well when Cooper Kupp was out, and then Cooper Kupp looks like Cooper Kupp when Cooper Kupp is back. There's a reason that Kyron Williams is going absolutely ballistic, and if Ronnie Rivers got in there, he might rush for 120 yards and a touchdown instead of Kyron's 150 and a touchdown. But the point is, you must cuff the two together, and you must be forward thinking and going and getting this guy Ronnie Rivers to make sure you have the two together. Let's see here. CMC is out 2 to 3 weeks. We don't know that, Liquid Silk. Where are you getting that from? What degree do you have? Okay, you don't know how much time he's out. Well, let me guess. You found a Twitter doctor out there that said, "Let me tell you about oblique injuries and tell you how it doesn't relate to fantasy football." Get out of here with your projection. Unless that's out there. If it is, I'll heed to your news report that I don't see in front of me yet. But there's no report. There's no report about 2 to 3 weeks. There are only people predicting things. If you know CMC is going to try and get back right away, this is going to be something where CMC even wants to be out. But they wouldn't even release that information. Breece Hall looked phenomenal in his very short usage. DeMarcado was a disaster. But it's not like any Cardinal running back did well anyway. Like, they didn't run the ball well at all. They got outrun by, like, I don't know, it was like 40 yards to a 200 and something, whatever the Rams had. Purdy fell apart without CMC. Definitely feel like that's the glue of that team. There is no 49er offense that's anywhere, any way, shape, or form close to the 49er offense we've been seeing without Christian McCaffrey. When McCaffrey is out, the offense falls apart. When McCaffrey is out, the offense falls apart. You know what's funny? Okafor, you only show up when things are good for you. So no matter what you say, no offense, but no one cares. Because you only come in when things are great, when there's some sort of downfall. You weren't here talking about Fields last week or the week before, but now you come in here and start talking up your game, your big game right now, because a couple players do bad. You only show up when it's raining. So it doesn't mean anything. No one's going, "Oh, Okafor's right." No one in the chat, Okafor, says, "Oh, Okafor is right." You lost all credibility when you vanished into thin air, bro. went to planet Uranus and hung out there for a whole season, and now you show up. Now you show up to try and gloat. Doesn't work that way. That's not how the world works, Okafor. It's not how the world works at all. So Cam Akers was trash all along, says Dark City. Probably, broski. Probably. Had CMC and Fields, still won. Nice job, DC. Nice job, broski. Appreciate you coming in. Come on, bro. Dan the Grim Reacher, first super chatter of the night, always gets a standing O. Dan, appreciate your super chat, my broski. You didn't leave a message with it or anything, but I do appreciate you very, very much. DeBalt dropping a super, lost Achane, and now CMC hurt. No worries, though. Gibbs and Roshan ready. Garrett Wilson and Brees, baby. Let's go. You know, one door closes, another opens. And I don't want to sit here and act like we didn't have a good week on some level. We did. We have players that do well. It's just, this was a low-scoring week. I just came in here to tell people, calm down big picture-wise. Stop acting like your team's the only team that got hit by all kinds of craziness, low-scoring games, injury. You know, a lot of my first place, or a lot of my victories today are like 111 points instead of 140, 170. I had a 129-point win, 111-point win. I had a 160-point loss, a 144-point loss. It was, you know, there were some high-scoring games, but there were a lot of 99 to 111 scoring, you know, teams right now, coming out of the morning games, afternoon games, and Sunday night game, which is unusually low. Let's talk CMC injury. We will. Young, there's no real report yet. There's a lot of chatter, especially in the live chat here, suggesting that he's out multiple weeks. First of all, the Niners would never release that information this early, let alone probably ever. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll dig through the reports in Twitter sphere right now while we're on this show, so don't worry. But definitely not something that we're gonna be privy to information wise just yet. This is something they're gonna look at tomorrow. There's a lot of Twitter speculators out there that are gonna try and come in with their prognostication of the situation. Real quickly, ETN, Kyron Williams, Breece Hall, running back 4 of the week. Breece Hall without very little action at all. Breece Hall wasn't given the ball until the end, and then what does he do? Yeah, scores a touchdown. Yeah, they let him score a touch. Okay, whatever. Breece Hall scored. Breece Hall had a good day. Breece Hall scored like 20-plus points in a lot of my scoring formats. Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. Breece Hall is 8 foot tall.
Get Breece.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a hell of a job. A hell of a job. A hell of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a hell of a job.
Breece Hall did great. Kenneth Walker.
A top 5 wide receiver high.
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber swinging Skywalker.
Yeah, Walker's great. Walker's great. ETN's great. A lot of movement from last year. A lot of guys we love on the channel did well. We had some good days. I just want everybody to know we had some good days for sure today. You know, there's some good outings, no doubt about it. This isn't all doom and gloom. And some of you had really good weeks because you had the right combination of everything going on. So it's time to stash Jordan Mason for sure, but we got to watch that entire backfield because they're tricky how that occurs. One injury opens up the door to another player coming back, and so we got to look at Mitchell. How long's Mitchell out? Who's got a report on Mitchell? I don't want to take away this screen right here. Someone pull up the Eli Mitchell news and read that off, and we'll take a gander at that. Let me also pull up the stream right here so I can see any YouTube exclusive membership questions or anything like that. Let me just see if I can get that pulled up here. Here we go. This Jets defense really surprised me a lot. Look, the Jets surprised a lot of people, I think. And, you know, Aaron Rodgers is out there throwing the football. You got to wonder if this team is somehow in the wild card hunt. How early could Aaron Rodgers come back? You can laugh at that all you want. You can say it's never happened. And I'm also very critical of Achilles recoveries for running backs, but not quarterbacks. It's a very different thing. I'm very curious to know if they get a winning, they come off the bye week. This week they're on the bye, right? They come off the bye week and they win and they're above 500. And let's say they win again. Like, what happens? What happens if this team has 8 wins at some point and Aaron Rodgers can return in double-digit weeks? You might think it's crazy, but he's doing things. Maybe he ruins his new Achilles, and ruptures it because he tries to do too much too quick. But good Lord. Garrett Wilson looked phenomenal tonight. Garrett Wilson would have eclipsed 100 yards if it wasn't for the penalty. So Garrett Wilson's doing his damnedest to be the wide receiver we all wanted him to be. He's trying his hardest. I'm tired of Ridley's crap trade suggestions. I mean, who's going to trade for him, though, Slayer? You know, the thing is, again, how many players did bad this week, too, though? A lot of them. Like, the wide receivers did better than the running backs. Real quickly, the running backs, Etienne, Kyren, Breece Hall, Derrick Henry. And it's like Ramondre Stevenson, who had a total of, under 70 yards and a touchdown, and he's running back number 6. He did return to the game. He had an ankle and potential head injury. I guess that he passed the concussion test, came back in. Have you guys noticed that players getting head injuries used to, like last year and at the beginning of this year, they go out, they would not return. Concussion, you're not coming back. Has anybody noticed that lately guys will get hit in the head and our expectation is he's done for the day? They take that serious. They don't mess around and they come back. Like, players have been coming back into the game after, remember Fields looked disoriented a couple weeks ago and his player guided him off the field and he came back and played. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like it's gonna. Kenneth says Smitty screwed me trading for Ridley. You can't blame other people, Kenneth. Okay, you get advice in here, and I always apologize if I say something that maybe leads someone down a path that's not successful. But come on, stop coming in pointing fingers, Kenneth. You make your own bed, bro. Be a big boy about it, okay? Ramondre scored, came back into the game after the head injury and the ankle, came back and scored. There's some hope that Ramondre does bounce back a little bit. So anybody looking for a very, very, very good low, cheap buy low, the injury might have his owner scared. Ridley for Achane, I'd do Achane. I'd take Achane in that situation probably. Achane's a league-winning player, so this is very, very, very solid, especially with one of those weeks out of the way. Ramondre is a pretty decent, very cheap buy low player. Very cheap. I'm talking very, 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 very cheap. Would you trade away JJ for Kyren and AJ Brown? Absolutely take Kyren and AJ Brown. How about Walker and Lamb? I'd take Walker and Lamb for JJ as well. Absolutely. JJ's out at least 6 weeks. Now that this game's out of the way here, 5 weeks. At least out 5 more weeks. Not just the 4, at least 5, because they said his new timetable is about 6 weeks. Because they're going to do some testing and MRI and imaging after 4 weeks is up. Meaning he can't rehab until after the 4 weeks. Meaning he can't return to football right after his imaging, run right out onto the field and play football. He's got to rehab too. He'll rehab in between, but I mean, there's a whole lot that has to go on after that imaging. Ridley for Henry. If you need a running back, I'm not opposed to that, but I'm not selling Ridley off like everybody else. Look, 1 week doesn't concern me. He bounced back and had a great week, number 5, and now everybody's ready to write him off again. I get it, and I don't blame you. But I think a lot of players did bad. We also got to figure out what's going on with T-Law, who got banged up at the end of the game. 10-team PPR, I'm 2-3. I have Fields, T-Law, Kupp, Thielen, Lockett, Dell, Pickens, Kelsey, Etienne, Mixon, Roshan, Achane. What moves would you make? I guess I would be... God, you might be without a quarterback next week. We got to see what's up. You might have to make a move for a quarterback. You might have to buy low on somebody. We'll have to dig into this later. But Mixon would be a good piece to maybe use to go get a QB upgrade. Maybe you got to trade Fields and Mixon to somebody that has 2 quarterbacks. But you gotta come back with the teams that have double quarterbacks. No one's gonna take Fields or T-Law hurt and not have another quarterback to start in front of them. You can only go to a team that has an overstock of quarterbacks. Is Drake London and past that? I mean, you could sell high on Kelsey if you need to do a divide and conquer. and maybe that is to go after a quarterback, but we'll have to wait and see. The problem is I don't know that anybody wants Fields or T. Law in your Mixon trade, so you might have to trade Mixon for the Q. You might have to throw QB in, but no one's going to want to account for that quarterback that they're getting back as a part of the value system. So you're going to have to really sell Mixon for a QB, like literally just throw a quarterback like T. Law in. Is Drake London safe to start? I mean, he's probably going to fluctuate. Is Fields going to miss time? We don't know yet. Could. 50-50. They did x-rays on the hand, and it appears negative. They'll do some more testing tomorrow. Fields could return next week, so don't write him off yet. London is definitely a good flex play. Gibbs to the moon. Maybe. Monty could be out at least a week or so. We'll know more tomorrow, but hopefully Gibbs does return and get in that lineup and get a chance to thrive. It's time to stash Jordan Mason. Definitely appreciate the super chat. This one's from Silva. The Jets defense really surprised Silva. We had that one earlier. Appreciate you, Silva. Amon-Ra, baby. Amon-Ra was fantastic. This is why he was a buy low all week. Say goodbye to that opportunity. Mitchell was on the field today, bro. He did nothing. Yeah, but you still got to worry about it. Like, here's the thing. When injuries happen, the pecking order sometimes is different by these coaches, bro. It's like change of pace, Mason, and then backup running back different. That's the way a lot of teams, like, I'm not saying Mason won't get the start. I'm just saying we got to be careful. We got to monitor it. We got to maybe just take a look at it, and make sure we're eyeballing the situation the proper way. $10 hauler from my boy Asan. Appreciate you coming in with a strong super chat here. What's up, Smitty? Just lost my week. Now 4-2. QB Stroud, T-Law, JJ Olave, Wilson, Kirk Godwin, Rice, K9, James Cook, Aaron Jones. You're getting Aaron Jones back. Gibbs might be starting. Someone offered you Tua and Pacheco for JJ. I would probably take that, bro. Would anybody else disagree, given that he's got... I mean, you got Stroud, which is really nice, but I don't know. The Vikings won today, so let's get a vote in the chat. Would you guys take Tua and Pacheco for JJ if you are Asan? And you potentially lost T-Law for a little bit. We'll find out. Stroud's playing really well, though. But I wonder if you could trade Stroud for something else, like a underperforming wide receiver or something. But... I mean, Tua's balling out. Pacheco looks really good. Does anybody have an objection over this, or is he waiting for JJ because he's 4-2? I'd love to know. I just think JJ's out a minimum of 5 weeks, and who the hell knows what happens when he comes back. I like your team a lot. I like your team an awful lot. And Aaron Jones coming back, you're going to be probably set up pretty nicely. Buy low on Fields, top 5 QB 2023, says Omar. Not at 4-2. Keep Tua. He's not keeping Tua. He's acquiring Tua. I object, says Mateo. Bijan really is running back 3 in the Falcons depth chart, says Niners. That's a frustrating situation. We don't even know when that's going to change. I don't even know. Somebody needs to be fired in Atlanta, to be quite frank. Someone needs to be fired in Atlanta. It's sickening when you're on the 4-yard line and you don't think, let's run Bijan 3 times in a row. It's unreal. JJ might not be back. Vikings, I do it. Tua, wait on JJ, you're 4-2. It's tough to say because you look at like Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp did come back. JJ could come back. Cooper Kupp, it felt like, what if Cooper Kupp doesn't come back? What if the Rams are losing? Rams clearly are doing just fine. So you never know. Vikings just won. I would say trust your gut on this one, but I would lean toward Tua and Pacheco. And you've got a really good team. You also have good RBs to carry you now anyway, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you did this and you got Pacheco, you're struggling between Pacheco and James Cook and Gibbs as your running back 3. So it's tough to say. But you know what? You might be able to use the depth, too. Depth is going to come in handy. Thanks again for your $10 hauler, my broski. I would roll with the consensus in the chat. The chat's got a good barometer here, I think, on these tough 50-50 calls. So we like to lean toward the 50-50 calls. ETN is a Mars man. He absolutely is. I mean, he was last year. ETN's a graduate of the Fantasy Football Show community. Had Hall, K9, St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, London, teams 4-2. Remember the yearbook? The yearbook from that year was phenomenal. Had Hall, K9, St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, London, 4-2. Great job, Anthony. Nice win, broski. Nice job with the big guns this week. Let's talk about CMC. We should know more. I'll check Twitter in a second, too. $5 hauler from Oliver, 12-team.5. Traded DK, James Cook for Eckler, Amon-Ra, then got Walker for Ayuk. Bro.
Got him.
That's like a double got him. Your team's to the moon, bro. Oliver, nice work. Nice stealing. I'm sure your teammates are not going to, or your league mates are not going to trade with you again. Jeff Wilson Jr. or Roshan rest of season. Probably Roshan, bro. If you have, I mean, I'd be tempted to say, like, find a way to get both, but if I had to choose, I would say Roshan. But I wouldn't cut necessarily Wilson. I'd rather cut a kicker, buy me some time to have both of them on the roster. Trade Chase Ridley for JJ, Garrett Wilson, and Gibbs. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not trading those two wide receivers. I'm not giving up on Ridley that cheap like everybody else. And it's okay if you want to, but I'm not giving him up like he's nothing. I'm not. Right here are the RBs. Kenneth Walker, running back 7. Zach Moss. Zach Moss did very little. He scored a touchdown and had the 38 yards. He did very little. I mean, he had 6 receptions. That's where a lot of his PPR points came in. But he was running back 8. Kamara had 35 yards receiving, 68 rushing, no touchdowns. He was running back 9. This is a very low scoring week. The wide receivers did pretty good, though. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, 124 yards, a touchdown, and 12 receptions. I mean, that's a nice outing. Thielen, I'm going to take a lap on Thielen because I got a lot of Thielen questions this week, and my answers were Thielen on very rare occasions, and that's on me. I take full accountability for those responses. That one's on me. I take full accountability on my Thielen questions. People said Thielen or blah, 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 Thielen, and I'm like, come on. You got to start your studs. Look, Thielen's playing like a stud. 163 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown. What can you do but start him at this point until things change? There's nothing you can do. Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, both getting the monster 150 or 140 plus yard outing out there. 163 and 6 receptions for 1 TD for Tyreek Hill. He got banged up. He did come back. I think he's fine. Cooper Kupp, 148 yards, 7 receptions, 1 TD. Looked fantastic. Drake London back, potentially. 9 receptions, 125.
To the moon.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
Drakey boy London finally doing some good work. AJ Brown, consistent as usual. 7 receptions, 131. Diggs, 100 yards, 10 receptions. Pittman, 109, 9 receptions. The wide receivers did show out. The top 8 wide receivers, all 100-yard go-getters. Then it gets kind of bleak again. Like it kind of feels like the running backs. It's like 50 and a touch is going to be like number 10 and number 9 or number 11 and 12. Garrett Wilson, 8 receptions for 90 yards. Very good day. Olave had 7 for 96. Good day. We just wanted touchdowns out of Garrett Wilson and Olave to just top it off. But Garrett Wilson would have eclipsed 100 yards had there not been a penalty on that reception that would have got him over 100. So, crazy. Anyway, let's see here. Trying to see some of your comments here, see if I can answer anything. We got a couple other people that they come strolling in here that all they do is cast negativity over the chat in the worst of ways, and you're just not going to hang around if you're going to be like that. There's certain people that can do it politely. There's certain people that can have constructive criticism. There's a time and a place for it. But if your objective is to come in here and just try and tear down the show or the community or the people or some of the things we talk about with passion here, and you're just your goal is to drag it down, you won't be here. It's not the show for you. Like, don't worry about it. Tyreek is fine. He was cramping. Yeah, Tyreek, to all accounts, it was just cramps. It wasn't a big deal. So Tyreek should be good to go. Don't worry about Tyreek. But Fields, CMC, T-Law, those are other things we need to look at. Let me pull up Twitter and see if I can find any updates on some things. Damian Harris has movement in his arms and legs after suffering a neck injury. That's fantastic. Damian Harris to the moon. Appreciate Adam Schefter for that. Was that Shefty? I think that was. Oh no, that was Jeremy Fowler retweeting that. Baker Mayfield took a hit in his left non-throwing arm with a helmet last drive. Sources say X-rays were negative. Let's see here. Justin Fields dislocated his thumb today, popped it back in, and he tried to play but wasn't able to grip the ball. X-rays were negative, but because of dislocation, we'll need an MRI tomorrow to find the full severity out. So that's an update. That's something new. Fields apparently dislocated the finger. That's good. X-rays are negative. That probably is just some soreness. I would imagine, and I could be wrong on this, I would imagine he's got a higher likelihood of playing next week than I anticipated. So that's great. That's fantastic. Let me drop this up here on screen here, ladies and gentlemen. This report just came in. This is great. This is great news for anybody that has Fields. Now, I know some people have written off Fields after one game because that's the way people usually react, and that's normal. That's just the way people are. Fields dislocated his thumb today, popped it back in, and tried to play but wasn't able to grip the ball. X-rays were negative. That's good news. That bodes well for his potential play in week number 6. Or week number 7. I'm sorry, week number 7. Let me go through the news right here. Jimmy Garoppolo was taken to a local hospital for precautionary tests on his back. Per source, Raiders want to err on the side of caution. As much as we give him crap, Jimmy to the moon. Hope he heals up good. He was throwing some hospital balls to Adams. Adams got rocked on a play, had to come out of the game because Garoppolo just lobbed one up like it was a hospital ball beyond hospital balls. So, I don't know what's in store for that offense, but Jimmy Garoppolo, prayers up to him. Hope he's okay at least. Tua, post-game conference, the difficult situation. Oh, he's just talking about the overseas. Let me see if there's anything else here. I don't know that there's any other updates that we don't know. David Montgomery has been downgraded to out due to the rib injury. That was during the game. So I think we're caught up on the news wires. There's nothing that indicates McCaffrey's out for 2 to 3 weeks. Don't listen to anybody that says he's out 2 to 3 weeks. They're trying to jump ahead and be first of breaking that. We don't know. Knowing CMC, he's going to want to play week number 7, okay? So don't just buy into this whole we know what's up. Fields roller coaster here for the ride, says Sick Nasty. Let's hit these super chats. We got one from Yvonne with a $10 hauler, and we got Mac with a $2 hauler. Appreciate you both coming in strong with your super chats tonight. You guys are legends. Max's thoughts on Ford. I love upside. His upside also London. I like Ford, what he did. I like Ford London to the moon. I like what Ford did. Ford looked really strong. I like the way he ran. I think he's got a high upside as a flex play going forward right now because of his explosiveness, because of them trusting him when the game was on the line, and because he delivered. I do believe more opportunities will be revealed to the man and set on his footsteps. So let's go ahead and pop him into our flex spot moving forward, especially with the bye weeks. Look at all the teams that are on a bye this week: Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, Jets, Carolina Panthers, and Texans. So Ford's going to need to be used this week. Yvonne, thank you for the $10 hauler. Appreciate you very much. Yvonne says thank you for helping me lately. Asked about JJ, but now being 2-4, do you think I should also trade players like Gibbs, Swift, Olave, or Laporta to see what I can get back? So the thing about trading these guys is you got to trade them on the high, or you're probably not going to good value back. So Swift scored, kind of was, the run game was phased out a little bit. He didn't have a great game. He had a good game. He had a top 10-ish running back game in a week where the running backs were bleak. So I don't know that anybody's going to jump to the idea of trading for him at the right value. Olave did good, but he didn't do great. He had 96 yards off of, 8 receptions. He had a good day. Laporta didn't explode. Gibbs, maybe someone buys on the spec that Gibbs is going to go out and go crazy, but I'd have to really hear the offers. I don't know that we can construct anything necessarily to go get rid of Gibbs. Not to mention it's going to be exciting to see him play. Could you get a Ridley right now for Gibbs? I would do that in a heartbeat. In fact, one of the biggest, and people are not going to like this because everybody's ready to jump away from Ridley, but one of the best buy lows this week will be Calvin Ridley, because of even people that have been on the Calvin Ridley train all year on this channel are ready to give up on him. So I know that he's going to be dirt cheap. I know you can get rid of just anything for Ridley for pennies on the dollar right now. So he would be a guy I would say, hey, go get him maybe using Gibbs if you could. But then again, Gibbs could have a really strong outing in week number 7. So we'll have to see. I also feel like the way the luck has been for Gibbs, though, odds are Monty will make it back. You know, it's just the I hope not. I don't mean that the way it sounds. I hope that Gibbs doesn't not get a fair shot and they just rush Monty out and Monty doesn't have proper time to even heal. And then it lingers with Monty all year. They don't let him rest up. Those things concern me, you know. So I do hope that they don't rush Monty back for that reason alone. For people that own Monty, you don't want him going out there with injured ribs that are so severe that he couldn't even go back into the game. $20 hauler from Alpha. Alpha to the moon. Appreciate you, Alpha, dropping this 20 wad. You are the man.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're getting stronger, too. Barely getting a burn at 10. We're going to have to get 35-pound weights now. Hold on, Scuba. Didn't panic. AR5 and H-hand didn't panic. No emotions. Look at the long term to the short term. Trades during the week 6 with 4 teams. CD, Evans, Hopkins, Stroud for Burrow, K9, Olave, Zay Flowers. Great job. Burrow, okay. Charbonnet, love. 6-0 now. Thoughts, Moonman. I like your team, bro. I think you did a phenomenal job trading. K9's already bye week free. He's looking amazing. Gibbs is ready to rumble. Olave looks strong. We wanted him to score. He didn't, but it is what it is. CD Lamb's a good buy low, even though you traded him, just for people that are out looking for a good buy low, but love the team. Scuba, you're live. You got 30 seconds. Thank you, Elvis, for the $20 hauler. And I'm going to leave this on screen in case I come up with an idea or two. Or if Elvis, you want to call in, we can discuss your team. Go ahead, Scuba.
Hey, man, I'll definitely have to try to call in another time, too, to have a lot more questions. But I'm going to ask you this question because you're out in Arizona. What are you getting a sense that Kyler Murray is actually going to come back? So the only reason why I'm asking is because one of my leagues I'm 5-1. I have Trevor Lawrence, but I did pick up Kyler Murray, and I have him as an IR stash. Is there any scenario where he's coming back, or if they keep losing, he might not come back at all? I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it totally depends on what happens with the team. I think at some point they need him to come back, even if their plan is to trade him. I don't think they want a Kyler Murray that hasn't played games. You know what I mean? I think they want a Kyler Murray that is an attractive player to sell, and coming back and showing he's healthy, he can move around would be good. So meaning that in a worst case scenario for Kyler, and that the Cardinals don't want him for next year, he's not a part of their plans. They're going after Caleb. They're going after whoever. Even if the Cardinals get a top 5 or 6, 7 pick, there's going to be quarterback options there. And if they want to explore those, because Caleb won't be the only player people want. Things happen very quickly. Players rise up rankings very quickly. Scouting, gets flipped upside down when you get to like January, February. So I think if he, in a worst case scenario for Kyler, that they want to ship him off, I think they want to test drive him so that they don't say, hey, we're selling a guy that we have yet to see him play yet this year. He played last year, played at the end of the year, moved around, navigated well, looks healthy. Like, I think the goal is to get him out there. To have him not play at all this year would, I think, hurt his value a little bit when they try and trade him, if they try and trade him. But the consensus is that the Cardinals do want to trade him. That's coming from the media and all the radio talking heads, et cetera, et cetera. But he'll be one of the, like, God, I can't wait for the offseason. I don't say this because I don't want, because I like the way the season's going big picture-wise. Like, this is a bad week for a lot of people. But consistently for everybody had some bad and good spots in their lineup. So, I had teams that did great this week. But I did have a handful of teams that didn't score well, and the other person didn't score well either, but they crawled to potentially a win. It's not that I'm wanting to move on from this season by any means by saying this. I just want to make that very clear. But my favorite part of the year is January 1. This is my favorite day of the year in terms of my job and what I do, because it's getting ready for the next season and ramping up and starting over and looking at things different, taking a different calculated risk, looking at risk evaluation different. This year, we're going to take risk evaluation to a whole nother level, because there are some things that we predicted, even in London. London's doing great right now, but he's going to potentially be inconsistent. I'm going to figure out a way, and I already started doing it, of how to calculate risk differently and accommodate for coaching and situational QB, for like London's case, Ritter, situational risk that helps dial back some of the lofty expectations for a player. And it's going to be, we're just going to attack it just a little different, but I cannot freaking wait until January 1. I just can't.
Yeah. I was just going to say, did Arizona already open up the practice window for Kyler Murray to start practicing? If they did, is there like a cutoff week for that to determine if they're going to add him? Like, cause just wondering, because I thought that they did act, because but I saw something that he could start practicing, and like they're saying that he's itching to get out there. Like, did they open up the practice window already for him?
I'll look into it. I don't know. I don't know exactly what that looks like right now for Kyler. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. No,
yeah. I mean, it's not like he's not like he's on the 4-week IR or something. He's like where they're gonna elevate him and they're gonna. I don't think that. We'll have to look at it. Maybe this week something like that comes up. I don't know. We'll have to look into it.
Okay. No, that's no problem, man. Because a lot of people were speculating that it was like next week that he could start coming back. It was like during like the Seattle game. So I mean, I don't know. That's the only reason why I was just asking if it was the Seattle game or if it was like a few weeks.
Yeah. Has anybody in the live chat drop a comment? Has anybody been hearing any Kyler Murray speculation about coming back? Drop it. What's Matt? What are you saying in the chat? Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm trying to read some of these chats. Everybody's saying, what are you saying, Matt? What are you talking about? All right, Scuba, appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you.
Yeah, call back if you have another question. All right, Redwood, you got 30 seconds. Go.
All right, Smitty. So I'm 5-0. My opponent this week was the other guy that was 5-0. My whole team played. Oh, no, his whole team played. I got Keenan Allen left, and I need 18.1. What do you think my odds are?
I would guess that you're projected to win by 30%. Is that what it's telling you?
I'm projected
to lose. Like you're 30% likely to win.
It's like 46, 54, something like that.
I would say that I would have guessed that it would have said 30%. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in his favor, but could it happen? Sure. But with this low scoring week, bro, I'd definitely pick the other side. But man, this is why you play. Like, don't feel like, oh, I wish I would have crushed him. This is what attracted you to the game of fantasy football when your buddy said, hey, come play this where you got to predict it and go into the situation. And I mean,
that's the rest part.
Yeah. So like, enjoy this moment. Like if he comes back and wins, this is why you played. This is why you decided to play.
So I had JJ and A-Chan, so I had to improvise on my bench, but I got a chance at least.
Yeah. I mean, consider trading JJ, but it depends on what you can get. Like if you could get Ridley for free right now, and you can now trade JJ for Ridley and another player like Aaron Jones, you got to take that, So what I would do is I'd go to the Devontae Smith owner, I'd go to the Ridley owner, and I would now treat them, not because I feel like they won't bounce back, I feel like other people feel that way, and I'm going to go after Devontae Smith and Ridley as free throw-ins. And I'm going to literally go to that team and see what else they have. Aaron Jones, give it to me. JT, give it to me. Give them JJ. Change the dynamic of your team. Because JJ may be out more than 4 or 5 weeks more. So that to me is the best way to go trade JJ away. If your plan was to hold JJ, and your plan was to hold JJ, and this week changed your mind, you had a plan until you got punched in the face, like Mike Tyson said. You went into week number 6 saying, I'm going to hold JJ, and then you lost, and now you're feeling bleak. There is a way out, and that way out is go to the Devontae Smith owner, go to the Ridley owner, pretend those guys are throw-ins, and say, I don't care, I want them thrown in, but I'm not even factoring them. They're not even weighing the scale down at all. What are you going to give me for JJ? Aaron Jones, boom, bye week free, give him to me. JT, he looks like garbage. Okay, give him to me. JT and Ridley for JJ, who may or may not come back, I'd take that in a millisecond.
Yeah. Which do you think?
Try again, Elvis.
What do you think his actual timeline is?
I mean, like I said, the update, a little over 24 hours ago, was that he would have imaging done, another MRI and some imaging on his hamstring after the 4 weeks was up, meaning he won't be ready to just jump back in. He's still rehabbing. He'll still need to do some rehab that they won't really unlock him to do until that MRI and imaging comes back. It's not like he can just rehab it to the full extent of the rehab capabilities and before that imaging comes back in. Until they do an MRI and find out if the tear is completely healed, they can't ramp up his rehab. So that means that he will not be ready the moment 4 weeks passes and they do the imaging.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's out 4 to 5 weeks minimum. And what if they lose? They won today. So that kind of changes a little bit of it, but what if they lose their next 4 games? Like, what will they say then? I don't know. What if they win their next 3 games? So, like, anything can happen. All right, Redwood, appreciate you. Later, pal. Call back in if you have another question. This is a 503 caller. Is this, who's this? Is this Elvis?
This is Elvis.
Elvis, what's up, my guy? Where are you calling from, by the way? Is it Las Vegas?
That's Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon.
I was just shooting my shot there that this was maybe the real Elvis. But okay, Elvis from Oregon.
Yes.
Okay, what can I do for you, Elvis? And just remind me about your team, and maybe we'll keep it as confined and simple as we can versus like the whole team layout.
You got it.
What are you thinking?
I had a really good team. AR5, A-Chain, Brees, JT, Evans, CD, and Cup, and even Devontae Smith as well, and Hopkins. And then with that injury that occurred, I made those trades that I just super chatted about, and you told me to call in, so I'm calling.
Nice. So what else are you looking to do? Anything else you need advice on?
Well, I've got Brees, JT, and now K9. I've got Cup, Olave, and Ridley. My bench is okay, but with the bye weeks coming up and any QB changes, I got Burrow and Love. So you think I'm good to go, or should I make some trades?
You got K9, Cup, Olave, Ridley, Hall, and who else?
Running back wise?
Just your entire team. K9, Cup, Hall, Ridley, Olave.
Yes. I also got Evans at tight end. I've got Charbs.
Who at tight end? Who at tight end?
Logan Thomas.
Okay.
Did I say Evans? My bad.
You
Man,
said
Logan
yeah.
Thomas. And then I've also got Charbs, Williams, and McLaughlin.
Who's your QB?
And then, Burrow and Love.
Okay. I mean, you got a really good team. I mean, Cup's coming on strong, K9s. The only thing the problem is you can't trade Olave and Ridley at their proper value now, so it's hard to explore that. I think your team, I feel like I'm missing somebody. I feel like you said somebody else. I don't know if you can see the board right now.
The only other people are JT, K9, and Brees.
Okay, yeah, JT was the guy. This is all a team that's rising, except for K9. He's been consistent, but he's bye-week free, hard to trade. But, like, would I trade K9
I got
right?
E-Chain in IR. I don't know if I said that. I got E-Chain in IR.
ETN on IR. You mean JJ?
No, not ETN. A-Chain.
A-Chain, okay. Like, get him off IR, bro. Okay, so that's great. I love that you have A-Chain. The only thing I would say right now is, like, just off the top of my head, it would be very interesting to use K9's value right now to try and get Eckler before he plays. I don't know how easy that will be to do. They both had their bye week. The only reason I say that, you guys know how much I love K9. His schedule is pretty brutal, and he's balling out right now, and I wonder how much value he has to that owner, and that would be something I would explore. But I don't know that I'm giving up anything else that you have here unless, let's say, they have a Devontae Smith or a Lamb, who hasn't played yet, who's been disappointing, or some other player that's really close, and you can swap Olave, who's playing well, for their wide receiver and do a 2-for-2. That's just the one thing that pops into my head right now with your team. But past that, you're kind of waiting, bro. You got to wait for JT. No one's going to give you the value. Ridley, no one's going to give you anything for him right now, and I don't want you selling him low. Achane can win you a league. Yeah. News came out that he'll sit out the 4 games, one of which has just played. That means 3 games are left before Achane's ready to return, but there is a bye week in between him returning in those 3 weeks, so it'll be 4 more weeks from now, but he will be bye week free. Mostert's going to be run into the ground at that point. Not wishing injury upon anybody, but Mostert's one of the most injury-prone running backs that is not currently getting injured, which is fantastic for him, and to the moon. I don't wish that upon him. The offense is certainly so plentiful that I don't think we need an injury. We don't need an injury to Mostert for Achane to do well. In fact, I kind of like the dynamic of Achane and Mostert just keeping defenses completely like off kilter, so I'm not wishing that upon anybody. But I do feel like Achane will help win leagues as long as he comes back and he is healthy. After the 3 more games, the bye week, boom. So I like the team, bro. You did good. Nice job.
Appreciate it.
All right, bro. Call back if you have another question later.
All right, thanks.
All right, Marsman Rock Out jumps the line because he is a Marsman. He's got a Marsman card. Rock Out, what can I do for you?
Yeah, can I get whiteboard material?
Okay, hit me with it.
All right. All right, quarterback, Burrow, Love, and let's see, Purdy. And then running back, Bijan, Walker, Javonte, McClellan, and Roshan.
McClellan.
And then wide receiver, St. Brown, Olave, Ayuk, McLaurin, and Dobbs.
Okay,
and
say the wide receivers one more time. Ayuk and who?
St. Brown, Olave, Ayuk, McLaurin, Dobbs.
Okay.
And then tight end Ferguson.
All right. So, God, man, I don't know what to make of Bijan right now. I wish I don't say that in like the most pessimistic way, because I do believe there's still enough time for this to go in a direction that can be glorious. But we are sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting. And the only thing that makes me think like maybe this thing could turn, the tide could turn, is that Ritter threw 3 INTs. You know, they're looking, how can we change? What do we got to do? What do we got to do to change? We're hoping that that's what's going through Arthur Smith's mind. I don't know. I feel like if they don't use the player they picked inside the top 10 overall and use him when they're on the 5, 6, 7 yard line, 4 yard line, 3 yard line, 8 yard line, 12 yard line, they don't think, let's, like the Niners, run our running back 3 times or at least 2. Bijan, you give Bijan 3 carries inside the 12, you're going to score on either the first carry or the second carry. And it's just like, it's a fireable offense to me. And I wish I had an answer, and I don't. But the problem is with this team, Rock Out, you've got to kind of wait it out. Unless you're going to divide and conquer St. Brown into 2 players, which I don't necessarily think you need to do. I think your 3 wide receivers are really, really good. Debo could be banged up for a week or so. Maybe it's his shoulder injury is shoulder, I believe, right? Is not expected to be serious, according to Shanahan. If you guys could mute Theo, especially, or whoever I just added, mute, please. This is one of those situations where it's like you ride this out, Rock Out. Unless you could do a similar thing, I advised that other caller. What was his name? Elvis. If I advised Elvis to just ask the Eckler owner if they're interested in K9. Just because K9's bye-week free, Eckler's bye-week free, that part's even, Steven. But K9's got that really brutal schedule. But hey, he could, at any moment, he could score 2 touchdowns. This offense could get into a goal line situation, and he could have 65 rushing yards, 12 receiving, and 2 touchdowns. So don't sell him off in crazy fashion, but I do believe that you start adding Ecklers to teams like this, and it can change the dynamic, and especially account for the brutal schedule. But that's it, Rock Out. There's nothing else to do here. You're waiting, bro. Roshan's season could kick into high gear. We'll see next week. They drafted him for a reason.
What 2 QBs would you keep out of the 3?
Keep out of the 3? I mean, you can't trade Burrow. He's your consistent guy right here. You know, he's the guy.
No, which one would you eliminate out of the 3?
I don't think I eliminate one, but I'd let the market dictate if I'm making a trade, which I don't know that I think you could only trade Love right now. He's got the bye week out of the way. That's a nice selling point. Purdy. A lot of people either love Purdy or hate Purdy right now because people are very fickle. I think Purdy's great with CMC on the field, though. So if anybody can look past that, then they're going to get a good quarterback, I think, that's going to score well. But I don't know. I would let the market decide and try and trade one away, Rock Out.
Yeah, and right now I have a chance of winning. I'm down by 4, and I got Ferguson and the Cowboys defense, and my opponent got Keenan Allen.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough little battle. I bet you they're favored by a hair.
Yeah, he's favored by like 5 points.
Yeah. All right, Rock Out. Appreciate you. Good team.
I appreciate it.
All right, later. All right, guys, hang tight real quick on the phone line. Just stay muted if you could, please. Let me get to these super chats real quick. We got Wave 3 with a $20 hauler. Wave 3, my guy, coming in strong. Let's do the $20 celebration first, pal.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
8, 9, I need to get 35s. 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm not even getting it burned really yet. I mean, it's starting to right there. 15. Okay. This $20 hauler from my main man Wave. 12 team, 2 and 4. QB Fields, T-Law, wide receiver JJ, Olave, Deontay, Nakua, Kirk, running back Swift, H.N. Gibbs. Don't know what to do with my team. Teams are scared of JJ. Well, I mean, he's 1 week closer to coming back, so you might want to revisit those conversations, my broski, because, now that people are feeling, okay, he's going to be back in 4 to 6 weeks is what the new estimation was, and one of those weeks is now out of the way. And I think that people, because they have that time frame, and he's a week potentially closer to coming back, that might intrigue somebody. But, again, like I emphasized earlier, you can go to the Ridley owner, and the Ridley owner or the Devontae Smith owner will treat them like a ham sandwich. And so you could then ask for another player for JJ and have them they'll treat that player like a ham sandwich. So that's what I'm probably doing if I'm you. You've already got Achane. Keep Achane. Your quarterback situation might need to be addressed soon. If Fields doesn't play and T-Law, we'll have to check on T-Law. But, you've got a good core. Kirk, Nakua, Olave, Swift, Achane. Gibbs should hold you over this week. Roshan. One of Gibbs or Roshan should start for you and do well. I'm getting rid of JJ. If you don't get rid of JJ, you might fall too far behind to ever really catch up, is my only concern. So go to the Ridley and Devonta Smith owners, get them for free, and ask for that Aaron Jones or player like Aaron Jones to be thrown into the deal. That's what I would do if I was you. Thank you, Wave 3. Appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to get to the other super chats in 1 second. Let me clear the phone line off. I got to go to 30-second mode, guys, because I got to clear the phone lines off and get to these supers. So in 30-second fashion, Doc, what can I do for you, Doc? You there, Doc?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, buddy. My bad.
What's up? I'll start the timer over for you. What can I do for you?
Nothing much, man. Hey, I got a quick question for you. I'm considering trading for Joe Burrow. I've got Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence, I'm just going to be honest with you, I hate to admit it, he just hasn't been that guy that I thought he'd be so far. I've got a pretty decent team overall. I've got A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, Bijan, Pacheco, Goddard, Nakua, Breece Hall in my starting lineup this week. The guy who has Burrow, he needs a tight end and a running back. This is a 10-man league, two-man keeper league. What type of package would you think I should put together for him?
Who are your running?
Try to trade.
Who are your running backs again?
So what?
What are your running backs again?
All of them. I have Bijan, Pacheco, Breece Hall, Stevenson, Algier, and Charbonnet.
I mean, I'd start with Stevenson. He did score. He did come back into the game. I don't even know if the guy will know that he was injured because he did return to the game. So Stevenson's a good place to start. If you got Goddard, you said?
Yes.
So if you were to trade Goddard and Stevenson, maybe that gets it done for a Burrow upgrade. But I guess the question is, who is his quarterback? Who, if he trades Burrow, is he taking the guy you're giving him? Because if T-Law is injured, he won't do it.
Nah, he has Tua as his other quarterback.
Okay. So I think he'd probably do this, Stevenson and Goddard. Would I trade Pacheco and Goddard? Probably I would want Burrow in something. And if he's got one of those data wide receivers like Devontae Smith or Ridley, maybe you throw in a little something extra, just, players we're not talking about, to get that player as the return player with Burrow. So depends. But Pacheco's an upgrade over Stevenson, we think. I mean, maybe Stevenson bounces back, but I would venture to say Pacheco feels like a safer play right now. So I'd try and use Stevenson and Goddard. But that would be not a bad move. I think Burrow is a solid quarterback to acquire going forward.
Yeah, I guess he just doesn't. I guess the only thing is my other tight end is Kincaid, and Kincaid's injured right now. So I'm trying to figure out, if I give up Goddard, what would be my tight end move? His tight ends are, he has Zach Ertz and Hunter Henry.
Well, just have them at the end of it, say throw in whichever tight end you want, and then you got a starter at least. But like you could leave that one for the final like toss and I wouldn't make that a part of the negotiation. I would say, hey, you know what? In order to do this, I need a tight end. Just throw me whoever you want to drop out of your tight ends. That way it doesn't even look like you're going after anybody particular.
Interesting. All right.
All right. Appreciate you, Doc.
Yeah, appreciate you.
All right, later.
Yep.
All right. I got to stick to this timeline, guys. So 30 seconds, Jay.
All right, Smitty. So let's say Pollard doesn't have a great game, maybe like a 10, 11-point game. Do you think it makes sense to take a Breece Hall and a Drake London and trade up for a Bijan or Pollard?
Hall and London. Bro, I think you could argue, and I'm not saying that it won't backfire because the Jets are a revolving door of unknownness. Like it from 1 week to the next, we're high on them, not high on them. London, the same thing. So these guys are very up and down. You know, it's like you're up one moment, you're down the next moment. You love them. Like Hall, everybody hated Hall walking into the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden Hall's everybody. He is him. Hall's the best, and I love that. I love when people are supporting our boy. But the thing is, Pollard right now. If Pollard has another bad game, how is that any different than just Breece Hall alone? Like I could make an argument that Hall is better than Pollard if Pollard has a horrible game.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But that doesn't mean Pollard can't bounce back and explode. I would say... I would say like this doesn't trading this for like an Eckler, trading this for like an Aaron Jones and something would be tempting, but like not straight up for an RB unless that RB is consistently producing. You know, like if someone wanted to go after Kyron using Hall in London, I couldn't really stray him away from that. I would say, I don't know, bro. Like, but Kyron's playing out of his mind. Like that, it's crazy, but Kyron is a top 5 running back, and we have to just accept it. We can't continue to like, not that we have been. We've been very pro Kyron over the last handful of weeks, but you know that's different. Like you have to take into account what's happened. You know, as much as we've loved Bijan, and I still think Bijan could be an amazing player, but you no longer buy Bijan at previous Bijan pricing. Go after Bijan, buy low style, but Bijan will probably be talked about as one of the best buy lows walking into week number 7. And that's going to piss some people off because they're going to be so tired of hearing about Bijan. But look, I mean, he's still arguably one of the best 1, 2, or 3 overall talents at the running back position in the entire NFL. It's just he's not getting the carries. Will that change? We don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. They might blunder this whole thing away all year long. And next year we were all so scared to draft him high. He goes crazy in 2024, and we're all just pissed off and even more. All right, bro. I gotta jump, Jay. You're way over your 30, pal. Appreciate you, but no. I'm saying no. And last caller right now, and I'm going to the super chats. Theo, you got 30 seconds.
All right, Smitty. I'm in a 12-man full PPR. My team is Tua. Pollard,
I can't do a full team thing in 19 seconds, bro. Hit me with the tougher question here. I'll start you over.
All right. Should I trade London and Addison and try to get an upgrade at the flex? And what do you think about Breece the rest of the season?
Okay, so London and Addison for one player. And you want to know about Breece Hall, okay. So I would say, yes, I would be very tempted to sell this package of London and Addison on the high. What does that look like? It did look like St. Brown, who was maybe going under the knife by some of by some of the Twitter doctors right before that game. Everybody's scared to death because people are like, abdominal. This could be one of 17 things. Let me list them off. Could be fine. Could be out 2 to 3 weeks with a strain. Could be a hernia reemerging. And everybody just took it and ran with it. Look how good St. Brown was. St. Brown buy low season's gone. Okay? London and Addison, could that get you an Olave still? Maybe. Could it get you a Ridley and an Achane? Probably. Maybe you own Achane. I don't know. I would go to the Achane owner, see what wide receiver they have. Maybe they've got a Devontae Smith or a Ridley or a potential even Deebo Samuel that's injured. Whatever, if you can weather it, and I don't know what your record is, but there's a lot of creative ways to go get two players, one of which being an Achane, or go getting a Devontae Smith and Ridley with an additional player added on. But I definitely like London a lot, but I would be very tempted to sell him high. If you could, if you needed it, if you can't win in the current state of things right now.
All right, I was just trying to ask if my team was good. That's all I was really wondering.
Read me your team one more time, and I'll give you a score.
All right. My team is Tua, Pollard, ETN, Diggs, St. Brown, Laporta, Addison, Breece Hall, London, Love, Spears, Charbonnet, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Quentin Johnson, and Anthony Richardson on IR.
All right. Pollard, Tua. So you got a fantastic team. Pat yourself on the back. Top 4 team in your league without seeing your league. I don't even need to diagnose your other league mates. Top 4 team. Go get it. Nice job. Do it live. All right, later, pal. All right, Theo, appreciate you. Let's get back to these super chats. We have 623 people in here, and we have only 124 thumbs up. Can we do something about that? I really would appreciate. Those are rookie numbers. We can pump those numbers up. This one's from Ian. I got all these super chats here. Let me put all these on screen. Elliot, appreciate Elliot's super chat. Thank you, Ian. I'm going to get to you. Jack dropped a super, but nothing attached. Jack, appreciate your super chat. Eric, guys, always include your message in the super chat. By the time I get to it, your other messages are long gone. So please don't super chat it without it being in there if you could. I'll try and find another corresponding message somewhere at the end here, but it's going to put a delay on it for you, and I hate that. You have to wait. I don't want you waiting. Riviera, appreciate you with the super chat. Asan with another. Megas with a super chat here. Terry Roberts says, very good game, Smitty versus me this week in the Mars Man. I haven't even looked at it. I'm sure you crushed me because I can't keep people healthy in that league, and I think I had Debo go down again, and it's like, good job, Terry. Abraham, appreciate you. And is Pierce a good buy low? TM42, it's a good question. I would say in the lowest of low standards, yes. But that's it. It's not like we're buying the man as if he's like gonna bounce back for sure or anything like that. This super chat from Hassan says, torn on making this trade. JJ for Tua and Pacheco. Could wait for JJ. I mean, that's the same trade we talked about, I think, with the other guy. I mean, if your quarterback is in shambles, like let's say you're not sure if you got T-Law and that's it. Like if you got Burrow or something, no. But I do like the idea of Tua and Pacheco, and you're getting two pieces there. Got first win, Sun God, Waddle, JT, Jonu, London. Jones coming back next week, hopefully against Denver. I hope this is revenge tour. Riviera to the freaking moon. Riviera, you got this. Don't give up. I've seen 0-5 teams every year. 0-5 teams come back and win the championship. So don't even sweat it. $9.99 holler from one of one. Thank you for the $10 super chat. You get a moonshot for that, my broski. Smitty has the highest scoring team in the Garrett Wilson jersey draft so far. Or who has that? Well, I've got to get those scores from Underdog. Hang tight. This next coming week or the next week we will have standings. I've been slacking on getting that information to Underdog. That's on me, not them. So I apologize for that. I will get those standings for the Garrett Wilson. 10-man full PPR. Got Fields, Kyron, Saquon, Roshan, Spears, Cooper Kupp, Puka, Devontae Smith, Olave, Addison, Watson, and Andrews at tight end. Any ideas for trading Saquon? You got a good squad here. Very good team. I don't sell low on Devontae Smith. I don't sell low on Olave. I potentially sell Addison and Saquon for like I mean, I don't know if you can go after Eckler before the game starts and get that trade executed before it goes down. Saquon for Achane and a potential quarterback bump. You do need to get a QB somehow, so maybe go see what the Achane owner has at quarterback. Maybe go see what the Achane has at running back anyway, or a wide receiver. I'd hate for you to trade away Saquon without a running back too, though. So you might have to get crafty in how to replace him. But I think, Achane will be back in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, and then the bye week. So 3 more missed games than the bye week. The bye week you suffer anyway with any quarterback, any running back you have, unless they've been on their bye week already. So I look at it like 3 games. So you just need Roshan, who might just step in. Spears, maybe I would take Achane and a player like Ridley for your Saquon. That would be a crafty move that not everybody's going to like, but I would do that personally. That's a move I would make. That's definitely a Smitty move. We've won today thanks to my guy Kyron. Do I trade Fields and Thielen for Hurts and Lockett? I would take Hurts in a heartbeat in your situation. Also, Drake London on waivers. For some reason, I pick him up. Yes, you 100% pick him up. 100%. But I do that Hurts trade. It's a good trade for you. Hey, Smitty, would you trade Flowers and Osborne for Pacheco or JT? I would take JT. I think he's going to get more and more work. Pacheco is maybe safer, but JT's got more upside. If not, then what running backs do you think are in that range? Probably, look, Flowers and Osborne's not going to get you in a JT really in any other situation than maybe the one you're in right now. So if that's available, I'd take it because a lot of people couldn't get that. Pacheco's pretty good too. I'd probably take that if he says no. But I like the JT idea more. And he did flip the script on Moss a little bit. Moss scored the touchdown, but I think he did get one more carry and more usage. So got offered St. Brown for my Eckler. I have B. Hall. No, I like St. Brown a ton, but I don't think I'd trade him for Eckler. Eckler's an RB in a very bleak running back climate, and I think you need to ask for a whole lot more. I would say my Eckler, yeah. I don't trade Eckler. I would trade like Breece Hall or K9. I'd probably trade K9 because of the schedule more than I would trade Eckler, or maybe I'd trade Hall. I like K9 a lot, obviously. But I'm not trading Eckler. Eckler's bye week free. K9's bye week free. Maybe Breece Hall goes for a wide receiver, bro. Try the Achane and Devontae Smith, Achane and Ridley package, or just go to the Achane owner, see what wide receiver they have, and take it that route, man. Raul, I love that idea. I'm going to be packaging that idea in a lot of ways this week for advice. Smitty, I need running back depth. What move can I do? Tua, JT, Breece, Mostert, Pierce, Roshan, Kupp, Ridley, Ayuk, Nico, Evans. You got a lot of wide receivers. Addison, Andrews. The guy who has Bijan and Eckler won't trade. The CMC owner is depleted at running back. I mean, you could maybe trade like JT and Breece for CMC, and then give him also like a Nico or an Addison. I'd literally give him all of that. I'd give him Addison, Breece, and JT for CMC. I'd give him JT and Breece. I keep Mostert. I keep Tua. I keep Kupp. I keep Ridley. I keep Ayuk. But Evans, Nico, Addison are all vulnerable to be traded with Breece and JT for a CMC if you can somehow, some way finagle that. Smitty, 4-2, Goff, Fields, Bijan, Monty, Moss, B-Rob, Brian Robinson. I assume Wilson, Moore, Ridley, Hollywood, Dell, Dobbs, Fergie. What to do? Man, I don't know if you can get... So you can't do anything with Monty right now. You're stuck right now. You're stuck right now. There's no way to trade DJ Moore high, Ridley high. Sometimes there's nothing but to wait. There's no way. If you trade any of these pieces high, you're dead in the water. Unless you can trade like B-Rob for Achane. Achane's your friend. Go get Achane. Brian Robinson and Hollywood for Achane. Dell, Dobbs, Zach Moss. Any of those combos. Don't trade Monty. Don't trade Bijan. Don't trade Ridley. Don't trade DJ Moore in this trade unless you can trade... Maybe DJ Moore still high somehow, some way. I doubt you can. Or, I guess I'd trade Monty for Achane and a Ridley type player. You already have Ridley here, but like I'd consider that because Monty's banged up. But Monty's going to miss maybe 1 or 2 games. And with the luck Gibbs has, Monty will return this game. You know? That's just the way it goes for Monty. Nady with the $20 hauler. Nady to the freaking moon. Nady, my man. My main man, Nady.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Thank you for being my trainer today, Nady. Appreciate you. QB Burrow, Stafford, running back Mostert, Swift, Moss, Tyreek, DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson. It's a good team. Evan Ingram. Traded Pierce and Garrett Wilson and Judy and Moss and got JJ, Connor, Gibbs, and Myers. Traded Pierce, Garrett Wilson. Okay, so Garrett Wilson is really the only player I absolutely love in this trade. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got Gibbs and JJ, and Gibbs may get a platform right now. So I like that trade. But I do think if Aaron Rodgers comes back, and guys, it would not surprise me at all if Aaron Rodgers returned. Not just talking about if somehow, some way the Jets made the playoffs. The Jets aren't going to make the playoffs with Zach Wilson. But if Zach Wilson keeps them afloat into like week 10 or 11 or 12, honestly, you don't know. You don't know. Self says, you got to hydrate, my man. What makes you think I'm not hydrating, broski? But I appreciate you. I like the trade, bro. I would still be very tempted to take JJ and turn it into that Achane and wide receiver. I think that's the better use of JJ than to keep him on your roster, bro. I really do. Steven with a $5 hauler, Dynasty, wide receiver. I think you did good on the trade, though, Nady, but I would flip him. I'd flip him. Go to the Achane owner. What wide receiver? Devontae Smith, Ridley, Olave. Buy low guy and see what wide receivers he has. Dynasty, Jamar Chase, Olave, Evans, Addison, Swift, Sanders, Ford. Trade Jamar for Diggs plus Eckler. Dynasty makes it tough. I would say, Steven, if you can win a whole bunch of cash money, I can't object to this trade. It sucks to lose Jamar, but Diggs will be around next year. It's not like Diggs is done next year. He has maybe 2 more years left of being a top 10 wide receiver. So in that, would I say Jamar's injury prone enough? He is. You know, I would say there's some injury risk. There's some situational risk. Seems to be disappointments, that pop up for him, whether it be Joe Burrow, whether it be him, whether it be. So I think that I would take the cash money and say that what's the likelihood of this league even surviving, 4 more years? Because usually leagues crumble. $10 hauler from AV. Appreciate AV dropping the 10 spot on the screen here. Second place, 4-2. Fields, Hall, Rashad White, Achane, Adams, Chase, Keenan Allen. Stroud bye week 7 bye, and Fields injured, and Achane what to do rest of season. You're gonna have to wait on Fields, my guy. Fields could play. If not, you got to hit the waiver wire. If not, you got to try and figure out how to make a trade. But the problem is, hard to say in a 12-team league who has. You got to go to these teams that have double quarterbacks. Who's got Purdy? Who's got Jordan Love? Those are two. Those are two of the most doubted quarterbacks right now that might be attainable for you at a very low price that doesn't touch your main starters here. Like Tank Dell, on a bye week, send him away. Stroud, I hate to trade him, but you got to trade him for Purdy. You got to trade him for Purdy, bro. You got to trade him for Love. You got to trade him for Love. But those are opportunities for you. Don't use anything else. unless the owner of like Hurts has another quarterback and he's capable of trading Hurts, I'd trade for Jalen Hurts using something like Keenan Allen and I don't know, Rashad White obviously, but I don't know that he's going to do that if you throw Fields in. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. Depends on what his quarterbacks are. But I think Purdy and Jordan Love, hopefully the team that has one of those guys, if you're in a bind and Fields doesn't play, and that'll allow you to maybe make that Stroud move. Because I think Stroud might be more attractive to almost anybody that owns Jordan Love. Feels like a very doable trade that you'd have to make, unfortunately. Thank you, Left Behind Times. Appreciate you dropping the super chat, my broski. Daniel, $5 hauler. I'm soon to be 5-1. Just traded Justin Herbert, Olave, and Barkley for JJ, Aaron Jones, and Cousins. I like that trade in some ways, yeah. And then I still believe I'm using JJ to go get that Achane and wide receiver combo. But I like the trade for you, Aaron Jones. Bye week out of the way. Fantastic move. Jack dropping another super chat. This is 2 of them in a row without a message attached. Let's see if we can find Jack's question somewhere. Jack says here, my super chat sent without a message earlier. Just got offered Burrow and CMC giving away Hall and Amon-Ra. Burrow and CMC for Hall and Amon-Ra. T-Law's your current QB. Achane on ice. Waddle, Chase. I like it, bro. Give me CMC and Burrow. Even injured, give me CMC and Burrow. It's a good trade. I think this other owner is doing well too. So, Jack, I would definitely... Jack, I appreciate you letting me know. Jack says that it will not let him add a message. I think you might just be doing it wrong, but that's okay, Jack. We got you taken care of. I would take the CMC and Burrow. Even with CMC being banged up, I think I'd take that. It's tough. I mean, this could burn you this week, but does anybody in the chat disagree? Are you betting on the injury with CMC being something minor? Even if it was a week, I don't even know that CMC is going to miss a week. But if it was a week, are we banking on CMC and Burrow, his quarterbacks T-Law, and he gives away Amon-Ra and Hall? It's hard. I mean, it's a hard trade to do. It's a hard trade to pass on. Let's see what the chat thinks. Let's see what the chat thinks here real quickly. Let's get a vote from the chat, please. Let's help out our boy. He's an avid super chatter here already. 2 super chats tonight so far. Jack, appreciate you dropping that, and monitor the chat very closely as they vote in groupthink fashion. CMC is minor. CMC over everybody. Nah, I would take CMC. There you go. CMC ran to the locker room after his injury. CMC. There you go. Jack, I would do the CMC trade in a millisecond. Do it live. Only one Hall Amon-Ra vote by Bandy. Okay, looking to be 6-0. Can Kamara and Zach Moss hold it down while Monty and Achane are out? I would say Zach Moss is going to lose work each week, but he's still flex worthy. And so, in bye week city like this, you can play him as a running back too, sure. Current team is QB Hurts, Hill, Keenan Allen, DK, Nico, MT, Smitty to the moon. Appreciate you. I would say, yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to trade? Unless you can trade DK for, I don't know, DK and man, I don't know. Well, Monty and Achane are out. Yeah, I'd probably say you're okay, because how long's Monty going to be out? Not super long. I'd say you're fine, Gustavo. I don't think I'd freak out on that one. And Achane's going to be back sooner or later. Well, we know probably after the 3 more games missed, and then bye week, boom, he's back. Hey, Smitty, 4-2, 12-man, 0.5. Burrow, Cup, JJ, Mixon, Rashad, Goddard, Watson, Ford, Moss, Bigsby. Should I trade Burrow, Mixon for Pollard, Stroud? Not a bad move. I'd probably say it's very tempting. I do wonder if you could trade Mixon and let's call it Dell or Moss or Ford for one player like Pollard. You know, could you trade Dell? Man, that's tough. I'd almost rather bank on Jordan Love and give up like you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd almost rather say, okay, look, if you're going to trade Burrow away, trade Burrow away. If you want to bank on Love, who's bye week free after this week, then bank on Love. And trade Burrow and let's say Dell and Ford, or Burrow, Rashad White, and Ford, and try and get Pollard on the cheap by giving up Burrow. And keep Mixon, then trade Mixon in another deal. And then trade potentially JJ in another deal. And turn this team around in a different fashion. I feel like giving him Burrow and Mixon's a lot. I don't know. That's a tough one. I like Stroud a lot, though. He looks really solid. I'd say at the end of the day, I'd probably rather have Pollard and Stroud. Like, if this is the only deal you can make and you're trying to trade and no one's trading with you, I don't mind that trade. I don't mind it. And Burrow still, like, has a little bit of risk, you know, so... And Stroud's going to get better and better. But I do wonder if you can do that trade without giving up Mixon, and then still trade Mixon because I don't want to hold him, but maybe you get something strong. I forget if you had Achane or not, but that Achane wide receiver package for Mixon would be interesting. Can I package anyone to get St. Brown from B. Hall, K9, Olave, Watson, London, DJ Moore, owner as Metcalf and Cup? I don't think you're getting... I mean, you can't buy St. Brown, Raul, off 120-yard game and a touchdown with like 12 receptions. Like, you're just going to overpay to the moon. Like, you can't even trade DJ Moore for St. Brown. Last week, you could have did that. This week, you can't sniff St. Brown using DJ Moore, especially if Fields injured. So, like, the tables turned really quickly, and last week was the buy low on St. Brown's season. That's gone now. I don't see anything here unless you're trading like K9 for him, and I don't want you to necessarily do that because then it depletes your running backs. You kind of just have to understand that buy low season is over, unless you can move like London and DJ Moore for him and try and get something back. Like, past that, I don't want you giving up Hall or K9. You know, would I trade Olave for him? Sure. Would I trade Olave and London for him? Probably think about it. DJ Moore and London for him? Probably think about it. Those are the only moves you could potentially make. And that's still buying high, you know, given how good DJ Moore was 1 week ago. 10-man PPR 3-3. Thank you for the super chat. 10-man league PPR 3-3. Feeling weak, feeling desperate for a reliable wide receiver or tight end. Bijan, Eckler, Amari Cooper, DJ Moore, Christian Watson, Achane, Gibbs, Ertz, Rice. Okay, Bijan, Eckler. Feeling weak and desperate for a reliable wide receiver. Amari Cooper had good sell high value weeks ago. I don't know about right now. DJ Moore, same thing. Christian Watson's on the up and up. I'd maybe potentially sell DJ Moore and Amari Cooper together to one team struggling at wide receiver that's got one bigger, better wide receiver. That's the only thing that kind of like comes to mind. I would sell Amari Cooper to the Lamb owner before tomorrow night's game. Maybe the Lamb owner's feeling like swapping risky players, so you could sell Amari Cooper and potentially a bench piece that you didn't list here. Same thing, DJ Moore for Lamb. Trade Cooper for Ridley. Trade Cooper for Devontae Smith. Those are other players that the owners are probably panicking on, but you're swapping riskier players. I do like those players as buy lows, Benz. Those would be two wide receivers I would target personally. I'm not ultra scared of Devontae Smith having a bounce back season. I'm also not scared of Ridley. I'm 5-1, so I'm cool waiting for JJ. When Mostert gets phased by Achane, then I can get Connor back, hoping for Gibbs and Jacoby fire lately. Jacoby has been good. Jacoby's definitely a good flex or wide receiver 3 play going forward, especially walking into a week full of these bye weeks. Jacoby's going to fit right into a wide receiver 3 spot. $5 holler after new JJ news. Feel like people would only want to give up flex value players. That's the risk, Oscar. That's why I said to sell them all last week, bro. Every day we're out here. Every night, every day, every show. Trade JJ. Trade JJ. Trade JJ. I don't know if anybody's going to feel like giving up, 2 weeks from now, they might give up something, but like you got to almost wait now. Or try that Achane doubted wide receiver approach. Oscar, the only way is to go for a guy that might have went down in value, like Devontae Smith Ridley with Achane. Go to the Achane owner. Maybe you've got Achane, then I don't know what to tell you at that point other than to go to the Devontae Smith Ridley owner anyway. Go to the Olave owner. Do you have Olave? I don't know. Should I try for like Ridley? So yeah, but go to the Achane owner and try and get Achane and one of those wide receivers, bro. It's the best approach for JJ. But would I take Ridley and another player? I probably would. I don't know if I'd do Ridley straight up because I feel like you should get more. But now might not be the time to trade him. You might have to wait another week before people will bite because they'll be one more week closer. 5-0 says Dougie. Thank you for your super chat, broski. Was that Oscar? Oscar, appreciate you. Oscar to the moon.
To the moon.
Oscar to the freaking moon. 12-man PPR, Justin Herbert, CMC, ETN, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen. There's nothing to do here. This is why you're 5-5. What do I recommend? You stay the course, bro. This is the recipe here. This is doing great. Maybe Hopkins and Garrett Wilson for one bigger wide receiver. Maybe London and Garrett Wilson, London and Hopkins for one bigger wide receiver. Maybe upgrade Herbert using Hopkins, Herbert using London, Herbert using Garrett Wilson for one bigger quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, Dougie. You get Patrick Mahomes. I don't care how slow he started. You take Herbert before the game, especially because what if he doesn't do well? Herbert, and if he doesn't make the trade, maybe Herbert blows up and you revisit and say, look, Herbert did great. Herbert and one of those wide receivers. For Mahomes, you just walk straight to the bank. You'll be 6-0, 7-0. 8-0, 9-0, in my opinion at least. Team is wide receiver Chase, Amon-Ra, Flowers, Debo, Rice, running back Pacheco, Swift, Madison, Gus Edwards, T. Higgins. Got offered Goddard and Garrett Wilson, Bijan for Jamar Chase. I mean this in the nicest way, but your team, Chase, Amon-Ra, Debo hurt now, Pacheco, Swift, good team. But is it the best team in the league? Probably not. Could you still win the championship? Sure. But would this trade be a crafty move for you to get Bijan, Garrett Wilson, Goddard? Let's ask the chat. Does this make him more of a contender and capable of knocking one team off at a time, getting to the playoffs, winning one game at a time, maybe being the third or fourth team in the league rank-wise, but winning it all? Because that happens all the time. Can chat tell me, should we do this trade if we're him? Offered Goddard, Garrett Wilson, Bijan for Jamar Chase, or keep Jamar Chase, given his circumstance right here, given his team. Please vote. I'm going to put that in the corner here so you guys can take a look at it and cast your vote. Thank you. Appreciate you, 44, for dropping that. Johnny Claus with a $20 hauler. Johnny to the moon.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat.
We're going to do 21.
Alert. Super chat alert.
If anybody doesn't know what these are, 21s is where you go up halfway 7 times, down halfway 7 times, 4, 5, 6, and then you go up 7 full. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 21s. 21s. Johnny, 12-man PPR, Love, Tyreek, Devontae Smith, Monty, Brees, Logan, Puka, Kyron. Bench. Johnny, tell me you don't have Kyron Williams on your bench this week. He was set to explode, Johnny. Even over Brees. I would have started him over Brees. Kyron season was in full effect. My guy. Get him in your lineup. Put some respect on his name. He is in your lineup, not your bench, even over Brees. Going forward, last week, this week, put some respect on his name, Johnny. Okay? Your team's phenomenal. Aaron Jones coming back off the bye week. Any moves to make? Is Puka still a wide receiver 2? Absolutely. Absolutely. What I say, this team needs a quarterback upgrade. As much as I do like Jordan Love, I still don't think he's as bad as everybody thinks he is. I think he was a top 6 quarterback before week 5 kicked off. Then he had a bye week. I still like Jordan Love a lot, but do I want you taking some of this overstocked? This is like overstock.com right here. You know, you got a plethora of players you can give away. I'm trading Monty and Love to get Jalen Hurts. I'm going after Mahomes. If this team gets his hands on Mahomes using Monty or Breece Hall, it's game over. So that's my objective. Go get Mahomes. The Mahomes owner probably is struggling, Johnny. Probably is struggling. What did everybody say about this right here? Did everybody say they were gonna vote on this one? Bijan, keep Walker. What was this? Trade Chase. Do it. Bijan is a bust, says Omar. Do it. Take the trade. Everybody's saying take the trade. Got offered Goddard. I guess Bijan, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's looking pretty solid right now. If you can't win with the Chase team, like in your heart, Johnny, or who was that? That wasn't Johnny. 44. Lucius, if you think you can't win in your heart of hearts, bro, with Chase, trade him for that move. But if you think you could win it in your league, then do it. Mahomes is your objective, Johnny. Mahomes is your objective. If not Jalen Hurts, if not Josh Allen. And just try throwing all your weight at it without touching Tyreek, without touching Kyron or Aaron Jones, because Aaron Jones has had his bye week and Kyron's a top 5 running back. I would trade Puka if I had to make that move. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you. This $5 hauler from Thomas. Smitty to the moon straight. 3 straight wins, 1 QB, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. Fields, Stroud, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Watson, Dell. Trade Stroud for Love. If you're in a bind where you have no quarterback because the Texans are on a bye, I would do that trade if you've got no other option. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I think it's even anyway. I do think Jordan Love's going to have a good, go forward part of the season. He's got Watson healthier. Aaron Jones will be back. I would probably say it's a very close trade. I think Stroud's safer, but if you have no other options and Stroud's on a bye and you'll have Jordan Love bye week free, I probably would do that. $20 hauler from Mason.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
7, 8, 9, 10, we'll do 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I guess the 25s are still working good because the amount of times I'm doing them. I feel like we're getting swole. We don't have quite the definition I want yet. But your boy's getting swole, but definition is not quite there yet. The tries will be, and the shoulders will do the trick. So tomorrow's try and shoulder day. Mason, appreciate you. 12-man PPR, 5-1. Need running back help bad. I've squeaked by every week so far. Lamar, JT, Aaron Jones. Look, Aaron Jones has been out. You get him back, man. JT's been... I don't think you need running back help like you think. Like, not trusting JT and Aaron Jones right now is the wrong move. Could it crash and burn on you? Absolutely. But what other choice do you have? There's no way I'm bailing on them right now when they're about to potentially pop back and getting rid of this Diggs, DJ Moore, London package. Would I trade DJ Moore? Sure. But can you get anything? Probably not. Not what you want. You got Kelsey finally popping off. And Lamar, I'd upgrade Lamar using London or Pickens or Jalen Warren or something like that if it could get me into a Mahomes or Hurts or Josh Allen or Tua maybe. But that's it. So that's what I'd do with that team, Mason. But good team, bro. Very good team. Kyron was in my flex, bro. Never sat him yet. Well, you had him listed as your bench, Johnny. So I'll wipe the sweat from my brow, which is also because I've been working out. But Johnny, you put him as your bench. So I was freaking out, Johnny. I was freaking out. Johnny to the moon.
To the moon.
Johnny scared me there. Johnny scared me to death. All right, phone calls for just a few more minutes here. We got 600 people in here. Hit that thumb up button on the way in the door, please, for your boy Smitty. Just punch that thumb up button. Do it live. We won't be doing 30-second phone calls. You better get your question in as fast as you can read it off, because at 30 seconds, I'm cutting the cord, and you're going to listen to my answer. I should say offline, so to speak. Smitty is dying. I'm not dying. I'm just... You tried doing a set, pumping out set after set while you're doing a show and talking without any sort of breath, Klondike. Not dying at all. Your boy's in pristine condition right now. 609 caller. Who is this and where are you calling from? Mick? Is this Mick you said? Did you say Mick from Florida? Okay, well. I don't know. I guess he doesn't want to talk. Redwood, you're live. You got 30 seconds.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? I called in earlier, but I had another question. What do you think is the better running back rest of the season? Would it be Jerome Ford or Kareem Hunt?
Ford. As I talked about earlier in the show, bro, Ford ripped off that nice run at the end. Seems like they trust him when the game's on the line. His explosiveness and shiftiness reminded me of his early, once Chubb went down game 1.5, where he came in and just started scoring touchdowns and looking really good. Like I felt like I was reminded of that guy. So really, really feel good about him at this moment.
If I had an extra roster spot, would you rather pick up Hunt or Mason?
Mason. Yeah. Even like, here's what you got to also think about Jordan Mason. Mason and Mitchell, like, you need to keep an eye on Mitchell. But the thing about Mason is that now that CMC got banged up, Shanahan's going to be a little worried about breaking him. Wouldn't be shocked if CMC owners got a little frustrated even upon his return. Let's say he misses one game or misses 0 games. Upon his return, he's running between the tackles, getting the team down to the 4, 5, 6, 7 yard line. And then Mason or Mitchell, probably Mason for right now, comes into the game and starts vulturing a little bit. Now, Shanahan is, I would say, he's a mastermind. He is. He literally is a mastermind. He is a savant, an offensive savant. I've always said Kyle Shanahan, as much as I give him crap for personnel decisions, especially relating to and around the quarterback position and certain things where he takes his foot off the gas in playoff games and doesn't move on from certain things in enough time, like ruined Deebo Samuel's 2022 season. Just completely ruined it. That was on Kyle Shanahan and the front office by dragging Deebo through the mud by way of allowing him to go out and do what you knew what he was going to do, put on a show and not be there and be out of tune and be overweight, and he came in overweight, he came in out of shape, he came in not in tune, and his season was down the toilet. And I'm not saying I blame all of that on Shanahan in terms of like Debo and his inability to stay healthy, but Shanahan ran him into the ground, runs him like a running back, didn't want to pay him that way until the end of the offseason, and just it totally got him off kilter. So like, again, not trying to crap too much on Shanahan because the Niners look amazing when CMC's in the game. CMC is the glue, though. When CMC's not in the game, this team doesn't look the same at all. But my whole point is that Shanahan could disappoint all of us and break CMC. And it wouldn't shock me if what I'm saying doesn't happen, where you think Mason's coming into the game and stealing some work. But it would be smart and logical to be like, let's give this guy some touches. And so he has some flex appeal is what I was trying to say in a long-winded way. Even now, even if CMC plays, he's got flex appeal, especially with all these bye weeks approaching, bro. You could play a Jordan Mason with Christian McCaffrey kind of banged up in the coming weeks with the bye weeks. Absolutely.
So, yeah, what is that about, Shannon? Because I've heard that before, that he always gets his running backs hurt. Like, what is it about his system that...
Well, his system's very aggressive, and even with like the offensive line and the quarterbacks, like a lot of people say it's football, players get hurt. It's football, players get hurt. But there's a reason why the Niners quarterbacks all got injured last year. There's a reason why in 2022, last year, not this year, Deebo Samuel was the only player left to play running back. They had 7 running backs on the roster at the beginning of the season. They were all injured, and only Deebo Samuel, a wide receiver, was left to play running back. So I kind of like scratch my head when someone says, oh, it's just football, players get hurt, it's bad luck. It's not. Then why did all 3 of the quarterbacks go down last year? Bad luck? No, it's because this system is a lot of moving parts, bro. And there's a lot of polling and shifting and trickery. And so when you have like the line pulling a certain direction and you open up a blitzing lane of a linebacker coming straight in at a tight end or a running back, it causes some chaos and quarterbacks get injured in his system. He also does some weird unorthodox things with his players, like running his wide receiver as a running back. Running his quarterback Trey Lance up the gut like he's Derrick Henry. In that same game that Trey Lance went down, he put Deebo in at running back. And when Trey Lance went down and they were running the clock out with Deebo Samuel before halftime. So it's like, there's a lot of reasons, bro. And I'm not just making them up. I can give you tangible evidence like that one. Trey Lance went down for the season, and he's handing the ball to Deebo Samuel to run the clock out before the half. It makes no sense. So that's why I say that maybe Mason doesn't get the work we think he's going to get. Who the hell knows, bro? Who the hell knows? Okay. All right, I got to go. Appreciate you. This is Redwood, right? Redwood to the moon. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Jimmy 44, you got 30 seconds.
Smitty.
Jimmy.
Hey, Smitty. Smitty, so right now my quarterback, you said Jimmy 44, right?
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so I have Dak Prescott and I have
8 seconds.
Sam Howell. What do you think about Sam Howell?
I think he's playing great, bro. He's a top 5 quarterback this week, even though there's a lot of quarterbacks that did badly, and to crack the top 7 didn't take much. I almost cracked the top 7 quarterbacks. I didn't even play. But Howell did really good. Dak is not very good right now, but maybe we'll have our minds changed a little bit to like weigh out this decision, in the coming weeks. But for right now, you got to start Howell.
Yeah, I traded Fields and James Conner before they both got hurt, and before Chase blew up when Chase was doing really bad. I traded both of them for Chase, and then I had AR as my QB, and he went down.
Keep in mind Dallas has a
week as well.
Keep in mind Dallas has a bye week next week, so you're gonna have to bank on Howell.
So you think I should go for who would you go for, Justin Herbert, or would you go for Joe Burrow?
You're gonna have to go for both and see which one will cost less, bro. Go after Mahomes, go after Jalen Hurts, go after Josh Allen, go after Tua Tagovailoa. Tua might be hard to get. Tua was one of the best buy lows last week. We said it over and over, day after day after day, all week long. Go get Tua. We said go get St. Brown over and over. Now, in fairness, I said go get Devontae Smith as well, and he still had a bad day. Go get really bad day. So we're not hitting everything, and I get that. But sometimes there's another opportunity, not a letdown, another opportunity to go get those two guys. But Tua's off the table probably. Mahomes has had such a bad start to the year. He is so much more attainable now than he ever will be, even if he's not dirt cheap right now. So try. Right. All right, Jimmy, got to roll to the next caller. Appreciate you, Jimmy. Ethan the negative, 30.
Smitty, I'm reading the comments of these Bears fans, and they're already saying things like, oh, we should go with Badgett. He looked better. I mean, these are the same guys when Cutler tore his knee, and that guy came in. He didn't even have a name tag. He threw a touchdown and 2 picks, and they were like, start him. I mean, what is going on? They don't deserve a starting quarterback the way they are.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's just my opinion.
I don't understand, like, how people are so fickle from week to week. You know, like, Fields injured his finger, and now there's his thumb. And they had to pop it back in place, and he couldn't grip the football. But the x-rays were negative, so I doubt, unless we have some kind of tendon damage, he's probably... Oren, thank you for your 5-month membership question. Any plans to do a Mars Men League update? We always toss it up during the week, so I will throw it up, Oren. Definitely. We did it last week, so we'll definitely do it. I'm going to wait till the week's over and everything, though. Thank you, Oren. Appreciate you. But Fields, like, how do you go from loving Fields, top 5 quarterback, and he was a top 5 quarterback according to every single person's standings, and now all of a sudden he's garbage. I just, look, I hope to God he doesn't come back and inability to grip the ball makes him have 2 or 3 or 4 bad games in a row, and the luck on that would be just a travesty. But it is what it is, but people are so fickle, bro. I'm not saying Fields doesn't have his risk or concerns or the moving parts aren't concerning, but goodness gracious, man. Like, what's the guy got to do? Goes out and has top 2 quarterback seasons back-to-back weeks. Tua had a bad week the other week. Tua's had 2 really bad weeks. And everybody loves him again. Josh Allen, horrible week 1. And didn't he have a bad week 2 as well? Or did he pop off in week 2? But
I think he popped off.
Josh Allen's struggled in week 1. Everyone's like, oh, Josh Allen. And then everybody loved him again. He's the best quarterback in fantasy. Right now, people are kind of in the middle because he didn't have a top 5 quarterback week this week, and it wasn't that hard to crack it. He did okay for sure, but God, everybody hates Fields now. Just like that. And I'm not saying he's not concerning, but it's unbelievable. It really is. All right. Anything else, Ethan? The negative?
No. Just that I've had gamekeepers some before. Unfortunately, when you dislocate, you stretch or tear stuff. So I'm kind of worried about that. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, if you made it through, I'm sure he will.
My wrestling season was over, but oh well.
Ethan the wrestler.
After a few weeks.
All right. Later, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
All right, Ethan's never negative anymore. I don't know why we called him Ethan the negative. He's like the anti-negative. He must have been just really negative on a certain topic when we first met him. But Ethan's been pretty mild. I don't think he's really that negative at all. 5-1 10-team league. Tua Love. Did I not get to this one? Del Monte need a wide receiver. Let's see here. This team. I'm sorry, bro. Did you send this to me, and I didn't get to it? 5-1. Okay, it's still on the screen. I'm sorry, bro. Here we go. 5-1 10-team league. Tua, Love, Chase, Debo, Olave. Look, I like what I see so far. Chase, Olave, and then Debo. You're concerned about, but like I don't hate it. Like right now, you got Dell and Rice. That's not bad. Rice is playing pretty well. Pollard, Kamara, Monty, Brees, Walker. Would I trade one of them for a wide receiver? Yeah, I probably would. I guess I wait until Pollard plays before I make any crazy decisions. But I would say Monty, it's hard to trade him now, but maybe he's the guy you trade straight across for the Ridley Devontae Smith type, and you would be a perfect candidate. You didn't list him here for that Achane Devontae Smith, Achane Ridley, Achane Lamb, Achane Waddle combo for your, Monty, or would I do it for Pollard? Maybe, for Kamara, maybe. Achane and Ridley for Kamara, sure. For Monty, sure. I'd probably rather keep Pollard. Probably rather keep Walker because his bye week's out of the way, and I'd probably rather keep Brees because things are looking up for him. So definitely feel like you got some wiggle room there. But the Achane wide receiver, go get that combo. Slim, I hope that Achane owner has the wide receiver that we're talking about, one of those guys that are potentially doing very badly, but we feel has upside. Field Stroud, thank you for the super chat, my guy. Is Field Stroud and Christian Watson legit for Mahomes? Yeah. I mean, it would have been a slam dunk last week, but he probably might not do that now. I mean, the fact that you're giving him a Stroud on a bye week doesn't help if Fields doesn't play. You know what I mean? Like, he's probably going to say no to you if he has no other quarterback option. And now he's got to field 3 quarterbacks, which a lot of people don't like to do because of the bye week. So you might run into that problem, Thomas. But in theory, it's not a horrible offer. But I certainly wouldn't give up Mahomes for that. And especially if, you're looking at that if Fields doesn't play situations, you might have to wait on that. And they might just say, no, I don't want to injure a quarterback. Tough L this week for me, Smitty. 2-4. I'm a top 3 scoring team in my league. It's okay once Achane comes back. It's over 100. Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you, Manny. Appreciate you sending you to the moon.
To the moon.
Moon for good luck as well. Thank you, Manny. Appreciate you. Thanks for the super chat. This one's from Case. Case, appreciate you. We haven't seen you drop one in a bit. Maybe I have, and I just don't remember. But Case, appreciate you. I'm sending you to the moon for dropping that super chat, pal. Appreciate seeing you. Why Algier getting the same amount of reps as Bijan? Because I don't understand. I don't know if Bijan, if they got a plan that they're not telling us, that they're just going to unload Bijan. Maybe Algier gets hurt and all of a sudden there's no other option, but something tells me they'd play another running back, at a 40% clip rate. I don't know. I don't understand it. At this point, I don't want to make excuses. I don't want to become an Arthur Smith apologist. I don't want to become a Atlanta Falcons apologist. I can only just tell you that I'm comfortable enough buying low on Bijan because you're not buying Bijan anywhere near his old price tag. So I still like buying low, absolutely. But bro, I'm baffled and I'm frustrated and I feel as much of a victim as you. I feel, in some ways more because of how much I talk him up all the time, but I don't disagree with any of my assessment talent-wise. I only live in absolute disgust at the way they use him. He's arguably, in my opinion, the most talented physically running back in the National Football League. And if you want to say CMC over him right now, that's fine. We're pulling hairs at that point. It's CMC and Bijan, the 2 most talented running backs in the National Football League from a talent perspective. And I have no idea why they don't want to feed him. I can only assume that they will. I can only assume that at some point, will it be too late for some people? Maybe. Will it be just in time for others? Hopefully. And that's the only thing I can tell you right now. I'm certainly not selling him low, and I'm certainly buying him low. And that's all I can really tell you at this point. Not sure why your subscriber numbers aren't 7 figures. Your show reminds me of I don't know what that show is, a money show on AM 570 LA Sports. Keep it up, man. Appreciate you, Noah. Well, we're growing fast. We're growing fast. We're growing organically, and we're gonna hit 50K by the time the season starts. We will be at 100K very soon, and I appreciate you and spread the word. If you guys would spread the word, it would happen a lot quicker. And I promise you, every time we get bigger, it's better. There's no, this is gonna hurt me if people find out about it. You can tell all kinds of people in an elevator, at the doctor, when you're visiting the doctor, at the dentist, when you go grab a bite to eat, when you're at lunch, or in your work league that you don't really care about and everybody sucks anyway. Like, you could tell people about the show. There's ways to tell people. Spread the word, do it live, help out, appreciate you. Thank you for your super chat. Kind words. To the moon.
To the moon.
To the freaking moon. No, was that Noah? Let's see here. Let me pull this up. Was it Noah? I'm not sure why. Noah to the moon. No, Noah, thank you.
To the moon.
No nonsense Noah is what we're going to call Noah if we can remember it. I probably won't remember that. 6-0 just beat out the only other undefeated team. Just Sherman.
To the moon.
To the moon. Excellent job, my guy. Excellent job. Appreciate you very much. And we got a Johnny super chat follow-up right here. Johnny, appreciate you. I think with a better offense, Brees could be listed with CMC and Bijan as the top running backs. No, absolutely. You know, he is definitely skill set wise one of the better top 4 or 5 running backs in the National Football League. And dynasty wise, he's in my top 5 RBs. No hesitation. And like how good he looks coming off an ACL tear. Remember what everybody said? 2024 will be his year. 2024 might be his year because of Aaron Rodgers going down, not because of his ACL. And this is why I said it. What matters all off season long, what matters is your readiness to play. Like J.K. Dobbins and Brees and Saquon Barkley, their readiness was not up to par. They weren't ready for week 1. When you're not ready for week 1 and you get thrown in, you have setbacks, you have the recidivism rate is extremely high, and the ability to fend off compensation injuries is really hard. And if you come along slow, like Brees did, it helps. But even more so, the fact that he was fully ready to go, running 23 miles per hour in practice, it all boded well. I think Brees is in a better offense. Brees could be, if he was in a better offense, which he could be if Aaron Rodgers somehow, some way comes back and this team is like above 500. You know, $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Moonshot from Casillo. Appreciate you. Looking to upgrade. Almost traded Herbie, Saquon for Purdy K9 before this week. That still could have his pros and cons. You know what I mean? Like, Purdy's not written off for dead. Purdy could come back and have a very strong, go forward. I think people are overreacting to Purdy. I think he is a product of CMC, but CMC might be back this week, so it might be okay. But Herbie and Saquon's interesting, and Saquon did look good in this game, but I would still sell high off of this game for Saquon, because I think what you saw tonight was Saquon in his best case scenario, missing for a big chunk of the game, showing up in spots, still not doing exactly what he's capable of doing, and so forth. So I still sell him high. Team is Herbie, Love, AK, Saquon, Roshan, Sanders. Wide receivers are Watson, Higgins. So you got decent wide receivers. Wilson obviously is beholden to the offense and what they're doing, and the fact that he had almost a 100-yard game tonight. It would have been 100 had there not been a PI on that last reception he had that would have put him well over 100 yards. So he finished with 90-something yards, right? Had a good day. I mean, he was like 17, 18, something like that points, depending on your scoring format. So he had a good day. You've got good wide receivers. Mike Evans struggled, but still very, very solid. Huge start to the season. Still like your wide receiver core a lot. If this is me, I'm trying my best to use Saquon because you've got a small window of time with Roshan, and it's a gamble because what if Roshan doesn't start? What if the Chicago Bears screw us on this Roshan thing? But that Achane and wide receiver package, that Devontae Smith, that Lamb, that Ridley, go check what wide receiver the freaking Achane owner has. Grab Achane and that wide receiver if the wide receiver fits the bill, if that player's up to par for Saquon, and maybe ride the wave with Roshan while you await the Achane resurgence. Just a risky move by me. Not for everybody. If you're not a dice rolling Donnie, maybe you're a conservative Caleb, and you want to roll the conservative route, but I will dice roll with Donnie any day of the week. Bijan's skill set deserves 30 touches a game. He's so good. If they fed him, they'd win. That's why, Case, we're going to have such fun in the offseason talking about where Saquon could land. He'll be one of the most talked about players on this channel from January to probably April or March. We'll be talking about him all offseason heading into free agency, baby, and it's going to be exciting. Now, could the team franchise tag him? They could. They could. They can still franchise tag him. It would be expensive to, but they could. It's more expensive than it normally would be because it's 2 times in a row, and they have to pay 120% the previous year's franchise tag amount, which for a running back actually isn't that crazy, though. You're still getting him at such a deal that other positions that might drive away a team from doing the double franchise tag back-to-back years. But at the running back position, I don't know if it's going to scare any team off. Christian Kirk and Pickens for Debo, Lockett, and Goff. Kirk, Pickens for Debo, Lockett, and Goff. Depends on your quarterback situation. If you need Goff badly, I could get behind this and say even if you're waiting on Debo. But Kirk's playing really well. Kirk's steady. Kirk's a good wide receiver 3 in fantasy, maybe higher. Pickens, great wide receiver 3, maybe higher. But let's lock them into wide receiver 3 territory so we're playing it safe with this evaluation. And we just say, look, Debo and Lockett is pretty close. You get Goff. If you need Goff, it makes sense. If you don't need Goff, maybe I don't do it. But very, very close, very arguable. Just waved love for Purdy. I don't know, Daddy Dennis. I think Purdy's okay. Love's okay. I don't think either one of them is for sure better than the other player in fantasy right now. Go forward. Love has already had his bye week. There's that advantage. Our Saquon, Kyron, JT want to stick with that because I got a personal attachment. Says Path. Appreciate you being here, everybody. Well, open the phone lines briefly one more time, and then we're out of here, probably. We've been live for 2 hours and 10 minutes, so let's open the phone lines one more time. Very briefly, I don't know how many calls we're going to take. I'll fill the phone line up with 2, 3, 4 people maybe, and then we'll probably jump on out of here. I've said this before and lasted another 2 hours, so when I say almost out of here, you might not want to leave because sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I overshoot my ability to leave. $5 hauler, Lamar, Bijan, James Cook, Swift, Jamar, Ridley, Keenan Allen, Gabe Davis. Tight ends are crap. Anything I can do to improve. Been struggling lately. You can't really sell any of these guys high except for Keenan Allen, maybe. And that could change for the good or the bad after the contest here approaching here on Monday night. So I think you got to wait. There's not a lot of sell high material here, and I think you doing any move at all might put you in a very disadvantaged angle because you really can't sell these guys low at all. Peanut butter and waivers, you're live. You got 30 seconds. Thank you, Matt.
I just want to say, Drake London is the man.
I mean, look,
very good today.
I mean, he looked really good, and the thing about it is, like, he could go out and do nothing next week. And guess what everybody's gonna say? He's bad. He's just like Fields.
You don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, it's good, but you know, there's some truth to the fact that he could be up and down for sure. But it's funny how everybody just completely writes him off the moment. And anybody.
I just wanted to call in to support my guy, bro.
Yeah, London. I mean, do you think he's a high-end wide receiver 2 in your mind going forward, or are you just saying, okay, let's not get carried away? He's high-end wide receiver 3.
Float above that like 12 to 14-point range weekly.
Yeah, I would say like it'd be hard for me to lock him into a wide receiver 2 spot right now, even though he's capable of it. I would say expectation-wise, high-end wide receiver 3 flex, but that with upside for a lot more. With upside for a lot more.
He just had a good matchup this week, too, I would say.
Yeah. All right.
But I just wanted to call in and just shout him out real quick.
Peanut butter waivers to the moon. Later, pal. 400. He hung up. He hung up. Love is better when Jones is on the field for sure. Absolutely, Ray. Look, for every Jordan Love hater out there, this man was a top 5 or 6 fantasy football quarterback entering that week 5 game. He had a bye week in week 6, so he's played one game where he got 0 touchdowns. In between him being a top 5 or 6 quarterback in every single one of your scoring formats out there, you doubting Jordan Love owners out there. Jimmy 44, you got 30 seconds again.
Smitty, I got 2 quick trades for you. Would you trade Kenneth Walker for Bijan straight up right now?
No.
You would keep Kenneth Walker?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason being, he's on fire right now. And do I mind you trading for Bijan? No, but bro, you have to use fair market value. This is like my example of buying a $500,000 house for $600,000 just because you think it's going to be worth $700,000. Like, you can't do it. Doesn't matter. Even if I guaranteed you this $500,000 house will be a $700,000 in 2 years, even if I guaranteed it, which no one can do, you still can't buy it for $600. Just to say, like, that's what people did in the offseason with some of our moon men, is they got so amped up they started drafting like rounds and rounds ahead, and it's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. It does, you know. So Bijan's fair market value is well below Bijan's right now. So you have to go get something significantly advantageous thrown in, like a Devontae Smith, who's completely, ham sandwich material right now. Then all of a sudden, this side could look really attractive. Bijan and Devontae Smith, Bijan and Ridley. That's what Bijan's value is right now. And I hate to say it. I kind of love to say it too, though, because I have a feeling I'm going to own Bijan in 2 or 3 of my 12 leagues or whatever I have that I can't even keep track of because I don't have the time. But I have a feeling I'm going to acquire him in 1 or 2 of those leagues if I have time to send trade offers out, and get him on a team that I feel like if I looked at this team before the season started, I'd fall down. But clearly it's disappointing that we're there. But I think Bijan still has a huge upside. But Walker's got his bye week out of the way. He's fantastic right now. I do contemplate trading him for a similar bye week free player like Eckler, because Eckler's bye week free, and I feel like Walker's got a horrible schedule. But I don't know that that's going to make me trade him away for just to trade him. Like, I'm not getting rid of Walker at any cost at this point. Like, I have people that listen to me say that, and then they call me up or DM me or put a message in the comments somewhere and say, Smitty, I got rid of Walker for, I don't know, Brian Robinson and Ayuk. And I'm like, what in the hell are you doing? You said to trade him. I didn't say to trade Walker. I said explore selling high by going to Eckler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's funny. They traded for that.
I mean, it happens every day, bro. And I just back up. I'm like, I didn't tell you to do that. And then they get mad at me. They're like, and they literally take it. They get so. I'm telling you, they get so mad. They're like, but you said, you must have misunderstood you then. Like, you did, pal.
Oh my God, Smitty, you cracked me up, bro.
All right,
Smitty.
All right, last question, Jimmy. Mike, I missed your call. Calling again, Mike. All right, last question. I got to get you off the phone line.
I got you. Calvin Ridley, do you value him as much as Achane? Like, he's kind of Calvin Ridley. I don't know if I can trust him, to be honest. I know you love him, and I love him too, but I don't know.
Do you really love him, though, or are you just telling me that because you don't want me to be mad at you? Because you can't really love him and want to get rid of him. You basically, you did love him. You love the idea of loving Calvin Ridley, but you don't love him anymore, or you wouldn't.
I mean, he was my biggest. He wasn't a sleeper, but I got him at 29th overall. To me, he's a top 15 player, but him and Trevor Lawrence just don't have a connection. I mean, we got to kind of admit it at this point, right? They just don't have. He likes Kirk more, it seems like.
Well, I think there are a couple things have happened. I mean, a couple times he's been blanketed, double teamed, and other times he's literally dropped or had overthrown pass on like 3 or 4 occasions. There would be 3 or 4 touchdowns. At some point, we got to accept maybe he's not top 5, if it continues. And we also have to wait and see how Trevor Lawrence's injury is, and et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, bro, I'm not mad at you for not liking Ridley. I'm just saying, be honest about it. If you want to get rid of him, you want to get rid of him. But I don't know. I just think that, like, at some point, you know, we might have to come to terms on that things are just volatile there. Like, T-Law, we'll have to see how T-Law is. If T-Law is good to go, I still very, very much believe that Ridley's a top 12 wide receiver at a minimum. But I think you can buy him there now. Same thing with Bijan. If I could buy Bijan low, I'm buying him low. If I can buy Ridley low, I'm buying him low. Ridley is cellar dweller material right now to some people. So I'm all in on buying him at his newfound value. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk or talk about what we drafted him for. And I know a lot of people like to go there, but I like to move on, adjust and adapt and try and win. And my feeling now is that Ridley still has that upside, but now he no longer costs that amount of money. So now I can go get Ridley everywhere for dirt cheap. Does that make me mad? It does, but I don't reflect on it too much. But if you were to ask me to reflect on it, I would say, damn, it would have been nice to let somebody else draft Ridley, swoop in and trade for him, and then have him blow up. Sure, but we don't live in that world. So... All right, Jimmy, got to go. Appreciate you, man. Later, pal. All right, Tennessee Mike, you got 30.
Great, thanks, Mitty. Appreciate it. Yeah, my team's a little jacked up on the bench with, I got Anthony Richardson down, Devon Achane down. I'm considering dropping Keontae Ingram and Tank Dell to pick up Johnson, the tight end for Atlanta, and Goff because C.J. Stroud, and I don't want to drop C.J. Stroud for his bye. Do you think that's a good idea?
Drop Ingram and Dell for Goff and who?
The Atlanta, hang on, I'm sorry. It's like Joven or something like that.
Jonnu Smith?
Yeah.
Jonnu. Who's your other tight end?
It's Cole Kmet. He just got kind of jacked up with Fields.
Yeah, but I don't know if Jonnu Smith is better than Cole Kmet. What did Jonnu finish with this week? It was 35 and a touch, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Kmet, the week prior, Kmet did really good. What did Kmet have this week? Let's look.
He had like 3 points this week. He had 15 points the week prior, and then he had 27 the week prior to that when Fields went off.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got 14 in this format anyway. 14, 27, 9, 7, 4. I just feel like I don't know that I'm making crazy drops. Would I drop Ingram for Goff because of your quarterback situation? 100%. Would I drop Tank Dell for Jonnu Smith when you've got Cole Kmet? No.
Okay. And then one more question, Smitty. Hey, Kareem Hunt went off pretty much, with only 10 carries. Should we sell high or just kind of hold him just in case Ford gets hurt?
I wouldn't say he went off, but I'd say he had a good day. I mean, 3.92 yards per carry, but the touchdown was what did it. The 24 yards, 3 catches was nice, but it was 16 points. It was a good day. I would say I would sell. I think Jerome Ford, I think they use both of them, but they trust Jerome Ford a little more. But, I mean, Hunt looked pretty solid. I would just sell high, but if you're not selling high, then you hold. Like, I'm not talking about getting rid of him for another guy you're going to cut later. I'm talking about maybe selling Hunt and Dell for, I don't know, someone might sell you Debo for that. Someone might sell you, you might be able to throw Hunt in with a wide receiver and upgrade into a doubted Ridley as the example. Or would I sell Hunt and, I don't know. I can't think of a player right now that fits the bill, but like try and get you got Achane, right? Yeah, you got Achane.
I have Achane. Would you do like Hunt and Dell for like a Devontae Smith or?
Of course. Yeah. Devontae Smith, Lamb. What if Lamb goes out and gets 20 yards? Now Lamb's in the conversation.
Right.
All right, bro.
All right. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, later. This super chat here from Ramos. Appreciate you. Promo code Smitty. Any Monday night picks? That's a good call. Good question. I would say Let's put it up. Let's pull it up right now and do it live. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, as Ramos just said. Let's play Underdog right now. Let's do a pick 'em. Okay, I just dropped that link in the live chat. I'm going to pin said link right now. Join me. Underdog will match up to $500 temporarily. I don't know how long this is going to last, but up to $500. They'll double your first deposit up to $500 by using the link I just pinned in the live chat. The link is in the description of every video, which inserts code Smitty, so you could technically download the app and put code Smitty in when it says, how did you hear about us? You put code Smitty, doubles your first deposit up to $500. So pick that first deposit wisely, because they're going to double it. So if you pick 10, the minimum $10, they'll give you 10. You do 100, they'll give you 100. You do 450, they'll give you 450. You do 500, they'll give you 500. And if we look right here for Monday night, let's do one. Let's do a little $5 thing and see if there's any things that make sense here. So Dak Prescott will say completions. What's he done the last couple of weeks? Down at the bottom, you can see it. 24 attempts, 34 attempts, 40 attempts. 24, 34, 40. 24, 34, 40. So attempts, 35 seems very, very likely. Let's move away from that. Let's say, God, Dak's hard to gauge right now, and his yardage the last 3 games: 249, 261, 153. So 269 passing rushing yards. You guys thinking the lower on this? What are we thinking here? We thinking the lower on this? I don't know. It's a tough one. Let me see what the chat's thinking here. Over, yes, get that trio rushing yards on Dak. What's his rushing yards been at lately? Rushing yards 2 minus 124. I'm gonna hit the under then on the 10 yards rushing. Under on the 10 yards rushing. Pollard, we're gonna give Pollard over on the 66.5 rushing yards. Or do we go TD? No, let's go over 65 rushing yards. Let's say they use Pollard like a madman. CeeDee Lamb, kind of feel like Lamb scores a touchdown, but do we want 75.5 receiving rushing yards? Is that better? Sam's been on CeeDee Lamb's been on a slump lately. 49 yards, 36.53. I think they throw enough. I'm going to go higher on the yardage. I kind of want the TD, but I'm going to go yardage. Brandon Cooks, what's he been doing lately? 7, 27, 17. Let's go lower on the, well, what's his, let's see. Oh, 37. Man. Maybe we just move over to the other side of the ball here. Herbert, 2.5 TD passes, 1.75. That's tempting. 3 TDs though. That's a lot. Let's go to Eckler real quick. Eckler, we're gonna go with the 49. All right, let's go with the 15.95 fantasy points higher. Keenan Allen, we're gonna go with the 84 yards higher. Let's take away this Dak. I'm going to take away this Dak one. I don't like that one. Quentin Johnston. I'm feeling a touchdown here. Feeling a touchdown here from Quentin Johnston. That makes it 2 times multiplier. So this would be CeeDee Lamb over 75.5 total yards receiving rushing. Tony Pollard over 66.5 rushing. Keenan Allen over 85.5 total rushing receiving yards. Eckler over 15.95 fantasy points. And Quentin Johnston 2 times multiplier with a touchdown on the day. And if we made this one you just make it a $5 one, it pays out $200. It says must resolve your entry. It doesn't like something. Remove Eckler. I don't want to remove Eckler. What if I remove that one? Okay, that makes it better. Let's go back over and find another pick then. Gerald Everett, 47, 30 yards, 25.5. Let's see if we can find something else on the Dallas side. Parsons. Tackle. Let's go sack. All right, this didn't get us the double, but we'll go with this one right here. CeeDee Lamb higher on the yardage, Tony Pollard higher on the yardage, Keenan Allen higher on the yardage, Eckler higher than 15.95 fantasy points, and Parsons sack. How are we liking that one, guys? We feeling okay about that one for a 5 ski? Over 5.5 receptions for Allen. I like that in the yardage. I think they're both good. So maybe we'll trade the Parsons out with the he still could blitz in, bro. Maybe we trade the Parsons out for assist. 1.5 assists maybe? Because Parsons is averaging 3.13 on the assists, broskies. Let's go ahead and lock that in. All right, here we go. We can do a bunch of other ones too. We'll do more this week. We'll do a show on it. But there it is. Take a little screenshot of it. Either one. Parsons on the single sack or was it one sack? I think it was one sack. Thank you, Ramos. Appreciate your super chat, broski. You are the man, the myth, the legend, the man we call Ramos. Ramos to the moon. This one's a $4.99 hauler. Is it possible JJ shut down for the year? Absolutely. I mean, we talk about that every day. That's why I've been saying for over a week straight to sell JJ, because the odds of them winning without him is, they did it this week though, so you never know. But if they're out of it, they're not going to rush him back. So that's why I sell him. But also, he's out 5 to 6 more weeks from now. He was the timetable got moved from 4 weeks to 4 to 6, so at least 5 more weeks minimum. And Magic, and I got Giancarlo with a $20 hauler. I see it. I'm coming for you, Gene. 3-3 got offered Ridley and Pittman for JJ. It's an interesting move. I think maybe you can get a little bit more just because Ridley's been playing so bad, but I do like that idea. Also, should I trade JJ, JT, and Amon-Ra for Devonta Smith, Achane, and Gibbs? No, that's too much to do that, I think. But it's not that crazy. That's not that crazy. I'd probably say JJ, JT, and AR5, who's injured. And AR5 could be out for the year. So let's just assume you're getting JJ and JT for Devonta Smith, Achane, and Gibbs. Does the chat like Devonta Smith, Achane, and Gibbs better than JJ, JT? Part of me wishes you could take JT out and make it a little bit lesser player, though. But can I get a chat vote on this one? Please, everybody drop their opinion in here. If you'd rather have JJ, JT, and AR5 or Devonta Smith, Achane, and Gibbs. And a $20 hauler from Giancarlo. Giancarlo to the freaking moon on this one. Appreciate you, broski.
Alert. Super Chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super Chat alert.
8. We're going to do 15. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. All right. What do we vote on this one here? What do we vote here on this one? H-Chan side, H-Chan Gibbs side, H-Chan side. H-Chan side. There you go. Magic, I first I didn't like it until I reread it. I'd probably go H-Chan side, but you're 3-3. It's a little risky, but I'd try and get a little more if you could. You know, it's tough to say like how that's going to play out, especially if Devontae Smith didn't bounce back or whatever, but I think he will. Hey, Smitty, I'm 2-4. What trade can I make to turn this season around? Team is Love, Bijan, Walker, Javonte, Sanders, Hubbard, DeMarcado, Diggs. And I take a lap on the DeMarcado stuff. A lot of the content that we dropped on that came out before the depth chart news, but still, my assessment was there was some misdirection there, and there wasn't. But at the same time, the Cardinals didn't run well with Ingram, so it was like just a horrible running attack in general. Didn't matter who you picked. But this team right here, Diggs, Olave, London. London's playing great. Olave's fine. Diggs is fantastic. Tight ends, Ferguson, that's okay. Running backs, Bijan, Walker. Walker's bye week free. Javonte might be getting on his horse very soon. Love, there's not much to trade high unless you were to get rid of, let's say, Diggs and do a divide and conquer move. Get like a JT and something. So go to the JT owner. Get a Aaron Jones in something. And when I say something, I mean Ridley. I mean Devontae Smith. I mean CeeDee Lamb. And I think Walker or Diggs, especially Diggs, is going to easily command something massive like a JT and Lamb. So like if you feel like you can't win with this team, if you look in the mirror and you say, I'm not going to win. I'm not going to win. You may have to trade Diggs for that. And I don't mind it. You just got to get the right two people. So the way to do that is go find the anchor of the trade, being Achane, JT, Aaron Jones. Those are 3 anchors that I would go look for. And then what surrounding pieces are there to throw onto the scale to do a 2-for-1. And then come back when you got some potential ideas. Thank you for your super chat, by the way, bro. Appreciate you. Who was that? That was Giancarlo with his $20 hauler, by the way. Let's send Giancarlo to the moon.
To the moon.
One more time for being an amazing, long, lasting subscriber and follower for years. Thank you, Giancarlo. And if you sent me a text, I'll get to it really soon. I'm bombarded with texts right now on the text line on the fantasyfootballshow.com if anybody wants to become a member over there. Year-round rankings, bold predictions, trade calculator, video courses, etc., 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 and in the text line. 3-3, 12-team, 0.5 PPR, Burrow, Kirk, Brees, Achane, Chase, Olave. Great wide receivers in Chase, Olave, and your tight end in Mark Andrews, and Brees and Achane. Burrow, you're fantastic. London, I like it. Team thoughts, trade suggestions, week 7 bye. I don't know if I'm you that I'm freaking out too much about. You got Cousins there for the bye week for Burrow this week. Achane you're waiting on. Jamar Chase is on a bye. Olave is able to play for you, right? Yeah, so Mark Andrews is not on a bye. You're okay this week. London is not on a bye. So I don't know that I'm making very many moves if I'm you. I'm kind of waiting this one out, I suppose. If you could trade Love on London on the high, like get rid of Kirk or Burrow to get Mahomes using London and Ford, London and Scary Terry, etc., I'm all about getting Hurts or Josh Allen or Mahomes. So, Mac, my whole goal for you would be to upgrade into that quarterback, one of those 3 quarterbacks. If you can't, I kind of sit tight for a week. And Achan's coming to the rescue, pal. And I think until some of these guys gain value, that's why I say maybe try and throw Love with a quarterback to get the other, quarterback upgrade. I'm waiting on Brees to get more value. I'm waiting on Jamar Chase to bounce back. Olave didn't explode. I don't know that anybody overpays. Mark Andrews, you never know. Somebody might be so desperate at tight end that they say, I'm going to buy low on Andrews, and I don't mind that. It depends on the deal you can get. You could go to that owner and see what they have. But I like the team, bro. I think the team's good. I try and do that quarterback upgrade. If not, I'm sitting tight. Appreciate everybody joining me tonight. Thank you to all my $20 haulers. We had a number of you dropping fire tonight. Did Dan the Grim Reacher drop a question? Really? Let's see here, Dan. I don't think Dan asked a question. I think Dan was just being a monster. Dan, I don't know if you dropped a question, but Dan was the first super chatter of the day. We gave him a standing ovation for being such a maniac. Absolute monster. And our first $20 hauler of the night was Elvis. Elvis, appreciate your $20 hauler. We had Wave 3 come in with a 20 wad. We had, if I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. Just let me know and I'll shout you out. I know some of you don't necessarily care, but I like to tell everybody what a marvelous person you are. Nady with a $20 hauler. Appreciate you, Nady. And we got a couple more here, I think. I just got to scroll through and find them real quick. Then we had Johnny with a $20 hauler. Mason S with a $20 hauler. Appreciate you, my broski. We had, let's see here. Who else? Giancarlo. Magic. Appreciate your $5 hauler again, my broski. And I think those were all the $20 haulers for the night. I just wanted to toss those out. Give a special thanks to all my peeps out there. Especially, anybody hits that thumb up button on the way out the door too. We've got 535 people in here and only 204 thumbs up. Rookie numbers. Thomas says K9 and Dell for Bijan and Lamb. I'd take Bijan and Lamb. Yeah. I'd take Bijan and Lamb, broski. But, there's some pros and cons to that. Dell could, be good enough to keep that side even. But I do think K9's schedule makes me want to do that potentially if the price is right. And Lamb, getting a free Lamb, it feels like you're getting a free Lamb, All right, I'll see you all tomorrow live whenever news breaks here on the channel. And, of course, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're live every single Monday through Friday. Thank you all. 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, live whenever big news breaks. And I will see you all tomorrow. Adios.
Brees Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Brees. He's Brees.
He does a hell of a job. A hell of a job. A hell of a job.
Brees Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a
Get Brees.